Good evening, respected everyone and dear all. All honorable guests, including the chief guest for inauguration, the patron, the chairperson and additional chairperson of the today's technical session, keynote speakers, the entire team of Inspira Research Association Jaipur, team of Chandragupt Institute of Management Patna, and majority of participants who have joined the program. I heartily welcome you all. First of all, I would like to invite Conference Organizing Director, Professor Dr. S.S. Modi, President, Inspira Research Association, former President, Indian Accounting Association, and former Head, Department of ABST, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, for the opening remarks on behalf of Inspira Research Association, Jaipur. Professor S.S. Modi.
Thank you, Dr. Ravikant, General Secretary, Inspira Research Association. Good evening, dear one and all. I welcome you all, particularly the patron, Dr. Rana Singh, Director, Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, CIMP, and Professor Dr. Rajiv Ranjan, Conference Organizing Director, Professor, CIMP, for collaborating with Inspira Research Association, IRA, for jointly organizing the virtual international conference on multidisciplinary research and innovations in finance and strategic management, business economics, education, humanities, and social sciences, ICMRI 2022, going to be organized on May 28th and 29th, 2022. I hereby welcome today's chief guest, a great academician and administrator, Honorable Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar Singh, former Vice Chancellor, Sri Sri University, Cuttack, Odisha, presently Professor, Head and Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, Delhi, India, for inauguration of the conference. I also feel pleasure to hearty welcome of today's chairperson of the session, Dean Pastor Argulis Jr., Philippines, Southeast Asia, and additional chairperson, Professor Dr. Manvinder Singh Pawa, and keynote speakers, Professor Dr. Dek Suranga Silva, Sri Lanka, and Madam Professor Dr. Mamta Jain. I also welcome to all the guests, entire team of organizing committee from CIMP and Inspira Research Association, IRA, and learned participants from all over the country and abroad to give their best and enrich their academic strength in the conference. Without them, such conferences can't be successful. The Inspira Research Association, IRA, Jaipur, India, is a registered leading organization of academicians, professionals, and researchers for research development and achievements, established in 2011. It is a non-profit organization dedicated to the promotion and development of research in the fields of management, commerce, economics, taxation, finance, computer science, technology, education, humanities, social sciences, and applied sciences. The association regularly publishes 5 peer-reviewed refereed international and national journals with high impact factor and indexed at various prestigious international organizations. Journals namely JMME, JCECS, IJR, CMSS, IJEMM, ASSS, and IJIRA quarterly. The IRA also publishes reference books with ISBN in the above areas and fields. Inspira Research Association has been organizing national and international conferences, seminars, workshops, webinars, FDPs, live sessions regularly with certain special features such as availability of complete recording of the academic programs at Inspira's YouTube channel, opportunity to publish papers in national and international journals and in ISBN books, and conference proceedings with ISBN in addition to paper presentation in the conference. I am happy to inform you that participation response to this conference is really very, very overwhelming from all parts of the country and abroad. We have received more than 45 papers for presentation on today's session and about 50 papers for second day's session. For both the days, 12 best paper presentation awards, 6 for each day's session for the conference, would be announced on tomorrow at the valedictory. Inspira Research Association also provide opportunity to participants for availing of academic excellence awards on the basis of their academic achievements during last 3 years, which would also be announced on tomorrow at the valedictory. The main theme of the conference is based on research and innovations in finance and strategic management, business economics, education, humanities, and social sciences. 2 years since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the global economy is poised to stage its most robust post-recession recovery in 90 years in 2021. But the rebound is expected to be uneven across countries, as major economies look set to register strong growth even as many developing economies lag. Global growth is expected to decrease markedly in 2022 from 5.5% to 4.1% according to the World Bank. This reflects the continued disruption caused by COVID-19 as well as supply bottlenecks. The rebound in global activity, together with supply disruptions and higher food and energy prices, have pushed up headline inflation across many countries. Although output and investment in advanced economies are projected to return to pre-pandemic trends this year, they will remain below in emerging market and developing economies owing to lower vaccination rates, tighter fiscal and monetary policies, and more persistent scaring from the pandemic. This underscores the importance of strengthening global cooperation to foster rapid and equitable vaccine distribution, calibrate health and economic policies, enhance debt sustainability in the poorest countries, and tackle the mounting costs of climate change. The rebound in global activity, together with supply disruptions and higher food and energy prices, have pushed up headline inflation across many countries. More than half of inflation targeting EMDs experienced above target inflation in 2021, prompting central banks to increase policy rates. Severe economic disruptions driven by the rapid and simultaneous spreading of the Omicron variant are a key downside risk to near-term growth. Will 2022 be the year where the world economy recovers from the pandemic? That's the big question on everyone's lips as the festive break comes to an end. One complicating factor is that most of the latest major forecasts were published in the weeks before the Omicron variant swept the world. At the time, the mood was that recovery was indeed around the corner, with the IMF projecting 4.9% growth in 2022 and the OECD projecting 4.5%. Where economic growth and inflation will net out in 2022 remains uncertain due to the size, complexity, and uncertainty of the problems to be faced next year. There are large risks of negative consequences ultimately materializing if the Fed fails to react appropriately to the current rise in inflation. These factors, coupled with the continued threat of the pandemic and rising global political tensions, indicate a lot of risk and uncertainty in the economic climate which business leaders must manage. The solutions are both local and global, requiring business leaders to remain agile while thinking strategically for the future. To discuss upon all these circumstances, in this conference, there would be two technical sessions on today. First technical session would be on research and innovations in finance, strategic management, and business economics. And the second technical session tomorrow would be on research and innovations in education, humanities, and social sciences. I hope you all would enrich and gain a lot from this international conference on multidisciplinary research and innovations in finance and strategic management, business economics, education, humanities, and social sciences, ICMRI 2022. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Professor S.S. Modi. And now I would like to invite Honorable Dr. Rana Singh, Director, Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, for opening remarks. Sir, please.
Honorable Chief Guests, esteemed panelists, guest speakers, delegates, participants, and all members of the collaborating family, Inspira Research Association. A very warm good afternoon to one and all. At the outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Inspira Research Association for collaborating with us and organizing this international conference on multidisciplinary research and innovations in finance and strategic management, business economics, education, humanities, and social sciences. Well, it was a great experience listening to Modi ji talking about the entire global and national economic situations, scenarios, and perspectives. I would like to start with the overall impact of the current post-pandemic situation. If we look at, I would look at only the brighter side of it, how the innovations have brought about a radical change in the Indian economic scenario by bringing a radical change in the startup ecosystem in the country. It's an amazing experience to witness 100 startups becoming unicorns as on 5th of May 2022, as per statistics shared by Invest India. Now, it's an amazing fact to understand. Let us look at 3 years, 7, 11, and 44 unicorns, 2019, 2020, and 2021. These 3 years have given 7, 11, and 44 unicorns to the country. And for the convenience of the young participants, we all call those companies as unicorns which gain a $1 billion market valuation by the business analysts. Now, understanding that as on 5th of May 2022, India has got 100 unicorns as an outcome of series of innovations by the entrepreneurs in India, and of which it is surprising to know that almost 13% of them are from IT services, 9% from the healthcare services, 7% in education domain, 5% from professional and commercial services, 5% from agriculture, another 5% from food and beverages, thereby giving an overall impact of 9% increase in the number of investors, 7% increase in the total funding of startups, and 7% increase in the economy has witnessed one of the most profound total valuation of around $332.7 billion US dollars. It is an amazing achievement in the post-pandemic scenario. Now, out of all these unicorns, 44 unicorns have a total valuation of 93 billion, which were born in 2021. 14 unicorn, they were born in 2020 with a valuation of 18.9 billion. And let us understand that what has made the Indian economy giving more and more unicorns. well, one of the most dynamic programs in the country, Startup India, Make in India, and the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister to push more and more innovations and startups in the country has given an exponential growth. And I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate Niti Aayog for establishing AIM, Atal Incubation Centers, Atal Incubation Mission of Niti Aayog, which has established Atal Incubation Centers throughout the country, which has focused on generating new ideas and converting them into startups. And these startups have really taken the form of 100 startups in the last 3 years, which is an amazing achievement. So we see that all the innovations in the domain of finance, strategy, or business economics, education, humanities, and social science, all of them are now focusing at creation of more and more edtech companies, health tech companies, business analytics companies, more and more new software products and services, and so on and so forth. So we once again take this opportunity to congratulate all the young entrepreneurs who have converted their innovations into incubations and have commercialized their ideas, taking this into the shape of unicorns. So I take this opportunity to invite all the dynamic faculty members participating in this conference to motivate the students and the faculty members to focus on generating more and more ideas in the organization, converting them into startups, and inspiring them to become a unicorn in India and abroad so that they can take the Indian economy to newer heights. Some 5 years back, when Modi ji had invited me to Jaipur, then India had a population of 18%, and we had just 5% market share in the world unicorns market share. But now India is catching up at a phenomenal pace. And I congratulate Modi ji for organizing such a marvelous conference on innovations in multidisciplinary areas, which will give a quantum growth boost and would show exponential growth towards research and innovation in various domains of management allied areas. And I once again thank the organizers and all the participants and one and all who has made this conference a great success. I wish the deliberations today will go a long way towards setting new benchmarks in the domain of research and innovation in India and abroad. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Rana Singh, the patron of this conference. Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to invite conference organizing director, Professor Dr. Rajiv Ranjan, CIMP, for the opening remarks on behalf of Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna. Professor Rajiv Ranjan.
Good afternoon, Namaste. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ajay Kumar Singh Ji, Honorable Chairperson, Pastor Arquelis Jr., Honorable Keynote Speakers, D. Suranga Silva and Dr. Mamta Jain Ji, Honorable Patron, Dr. Rana Singh Ji, Honorable Dr. S.S. Modi Ji, Honorable Professor Dr. Manvinder Singh Pahwa Ji, distinguished guests, speakers, and delegates. It's indeed my pleasure and privilege to extend a very warm welcome to the galaxy of academicians, researchers, practicing managers, policymakers, working professionals, and other ignited minds to this international conference on multidisciplinary research and innovation, ICMRI 2022, organized jointly by Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, and Inspira Research Association, Jaipur. This conference was conceived to provide and facilitate a forum for interface on multidisciplinary research and innovations in order to succeed in the fast-changing business environment. At the conception stage per se, while we were discussing about the need for such a conference, it was realized that there cannot be a better time for a conference like this, because during and after COVID-19, organizations and institutions have fast reinvented themselves for their sustenance and growth. Even this online conference that has brought all of us together today is the result of this reinvention. As we may recall, though the technology of video conferencing was already there, we learned to use it optimally during that period only. What I personally feel that a conference on multidisciplinary research and innovations is the need of the hour, because with time, what happens, our problems are becoming more and more complex, and their optimal solution lies only through a multidisciplinary, multidimensional, multimodal knowledge, research, and innovation. I believe this confluence of interdisciplinary and intersectoral intellect from India and abroad will not only spur research and interventions for a more vibrant, responsible, and inclusive ecosystem, but also help the triad of academia, corporate, government to unfathom the unexplored, unexpected, unavoidable issues and perspectives. My gratitude and greetings to all the distinguished guests, delegates from different time zones who have joined us online to contribute their intellectual pursuits at this academic congregation that I prefer to call it often, for the larger interest of the humanity and the society, echoing and vindicating the Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Rajiv Ranjanji. Now I request Dr. Aarti Chopra, Joint Secretary, Inspira Research Association, to invite and welcome our today's chief guest, Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar Singh. Dr. Aarti ma'am.
Namaskar, a very good evening to all of you. Sir, I hope I'm audible clearly to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Captain Ravikant Modi, sir, once again, for granting me the pleasure to introduce our honorable chief guest for this conference. मैं सूरज को दीपक दिखाने का प्रयास कर रही हूँ. I take honor, privilege, pleasure, pride, and delight to welcome our eminent, renowned, and distinguished chief guest, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh ji, former Vice Chancellor, Shri Shri University, Cuttack, Odisha, and Professor, Head and Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business, University of Delhi, Delhi. यूं तो सर की बुद्धिमत्ता उस इत्र के समान है जिसकी दुकान के सामने से भी निकल जाए तो व्यक्ति महक जाता है. Before inviting Professor Ajay Kumar Singh sir to guide us with his pearls of wisdom and blessing all of us, I would like to throw some light on his profound academic and administrative journey. Professor Ajay Kumar Singh is a professor and head, Department of Commerce, and Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, Delhi. Dr. Singh is honorary professor of John von Neumann University, Hungary, and formerly Vice Chancellor of Shri Shri University, Cuttack, Odisha. Professor Singh is Fellow and Managing Trustee of Indian Commerce Association. He is immediate past President of Indian Commerce Association, Delhi NCR chapter. He is the past President of Rotary Club of Delhi, Maurya. He is also the past President of Indian Association for Management Development. He is the Fellow, Computer Society of India Honorary. He is the President of Governing Body of Divine Group of Institutions and many NGOs. Such a beautiful blend you can see. Professor Singh is always a school topper. He is the alumnus of SRCC. He is the editor-in-chief of Delhi Business Review. He has earned the Best Teacher Award for 2 consecutive years in 1998 and 1999 at IMT. He has 9 Best Research Papers Awards to his credit, 45 awards at national level and 12 awards at international level. He has many distinctions which have been conferred to him, including 2 gold medals, 1 silver medals, and many other distinctions. Professor Singh was conferred by Indian Commerce Association as the Best Business Academic of the Year Award in 2011, Gold Medal and MMSM Research Award in 2012. Professor Singh has more than 35 years of teaching experience in which he has published 227 publications, which includes 10 books, 1 international monograph, 118 research papers, 13 articles, 16 case studies, 59 editorial reviews, 2 abstracts, and 8 book reviews. which are published in leading journals with total citations of 666. That's so remarkable, sir. H index of 11 and I-10 index of 15 as on May 21st, 2022, as per the Google Scholar citations. 35 scholars have already been awarded their PhD degrees under Sir's able guidance and supervision, while 17 scholars have been awarded MPhil degree under his supervision. Professor Singh has traveled 23 various countries and addressed more than 200 conferences, seminars, workshops, and training programs, and more than 100 online sessions and webinars during this pandemic period. Professor Singh, you are a great blend of a teacher and administrator, researcher and guide, coach and mentor, trainer and consultant, sadhak and yogi. That I can say, sir, I have attended one of your sessions on mind management also, and that is so fresh in my mind because that was highly impactful and knowledgeable. You are a counselor and healer. Sir, we are truly blessed that you have accepted our invitation to be our chief guest today. Thank you so much, sir. There are very few people like you who are such a great blend of mental, emotional, philosophical, and spiritual wisdom. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Sir, I invite you to please bless our participants and all of us with your pearls of wisdom. Professor Ajay Kumar Singh.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Aarti Chopra ji, for the very generous introduction. Namaste to all of you. Honorable founder, president of Inspira Research Association and former president of Indian Accounting Association, Professor S.S. Modi ji, who tirelessly does these events on an ongoing basis. From the day I know him, he's seamlessly doing all this. We visited Jaipur, as Professor Rana Singh mentioned, in the physical mode also, the director of Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna. I congratulate both the joint organizers for conceptualizing this as a joint event of CIMP and Inspira Research Foundation. The journals that he has mentioned has contributed a lot. The 5 journals of Inspira are really creating benchmarks in the country for good research publication. Other esteemed colleagues, Professor Dr. Rajiv Ranjan ji, Professor Pastor, Professor Anil Mehta ji, Professor Mamta Jain, Professor Suranga ji, and all others. Some videos are on. Professor Tan, I think, will be speaking tomorrow, and all the other distinguished the delegates who are supposed to present the papers, because of whom the conferences have meaning, actually, that they give the real research contribution, which then go to the journal publication and other areas. So it's a great pleasure and delight for me to be again with this forum of Inspira, this time jointly with CIMP. The topic that has been chosen is really very contemporary, and it is very important to do multidisciplinary research, which is also emphasized by the National Education Policy 2020, which is being implemented in India. In University of Delhi, in Department of Commerce, we have revised our syllabus and put it on the website of commerce.du.ac.in for stakeholder feedback. I invite all of you to have a look at that and share your feedback about that how NEP 2020 is being implemented for multi-dimensional, multidisciplinary research. How this new forum of 4-year degree followed by direct PhD model will change the ecosystem of research and innovation in India. Professor Rana Singh mentioned a lot about the unicorn status, which has jumped several counts. Now more than 100 are there as unicorns from India. That's a cause of celebration for all of us, the kind of policies that allowed all these things to fructify. Are you able to see my screen? Let me check about that.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, great. So the topic of today is about research and innovation in finance, strategy, management, and economics. So this is the agenda for me today, which I have created for you. And research is a systematic investigation, that is a gathering and analysis of information designed to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. And research is what is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. That is the beauty of research. And what is innovation? Innovation involves finding a new and better way of doing something. Much of our modern society is based on innovations that have occurred in the past that provide us with the standard of living we enjoy today. The previous speaker was talking about the pandemic time and how we swiftly moved to this online system, that we are all from different cities joining together without moving from the comfort zone of our homes. So unless these Zoom and other platforms were there, it would not have been easy to fight with this pandemic, apart from what the Indian doctors have done in terms of creating the vaccine, not one, but 2 vaccines in India. And that is also an outcome of research that we see, and that has saved lives of so many. So on the one hand, we are using technology of ICT and others for having this platform. On the other hand, we are safe in this country. Even in the 3rd wave and 4th wave, which is going on right now, we don't feel the pinch of the 3rd wave and 4th wave. Coming to this Global Innovation Index 2021, where India has climbed 35 notches from 81st in 2015-16 to 46th in 2021. The Economic Survey 2022 said on January 31, 2022, the patents granted in India has gone up to 28,391 in 2020-21 from just mere 7,509 in 2010-11. So there is a quantum jump, which is evident from patents granted status as well. And this is what came in the news, what I'm referring to you now about Global Innovation Index 2021. This is the clipping of that. Coming back to the research, we are engaged generally into descriptive or analytical, applied research, fundamental, quantitative, qualitative, empirical research. So those who are research scholars or pursuing some research, for them, it is important to choose what kind of research you want to engage into. That depends on what are your objectives and hypotheses of your study. And nowadays, traditionally, we used to do literature review. Nowadays, we are using systematic literature review. So each researcher is now supposed to go through the systematic literature, which is a method to review relevant literature in your field through a highly rigorous and systematic process. Process of undertaking a systematic literature review covers not only the content found in the literature, but the methods used to find the literature, what search strategies you use, and how and where you search. Systematic literature review also importantly focuses on the criteria you use to evaluate the literature found for inclusion or exclusion in the review. So every other person can also arrive at the same review. That is the purpose of SLR. I'm not going into details of this because the time limit is less. And then if you see trends in finance research, I did some kind of analysis based on this. So I found that there are 443 views for this particular trends in finance, analyzing publication data of leading financial journals. But this is how we see the trends. The study presents publication data from 1999 to 2018 from 5 finance journals, which are top-rated journals, and the publication considered 5,620 unique authors out of 14,998 total authors. The final data for this study included 6,403 papers published during the 20 years in the 5 leading journals. So this is what the trend in finance research is all about. And these are the 5 Journal of Financial Economy, Journal of Finance, Journal of Financial Studies, like that. And the top countries still, if you see, is USA is on the top with 4,591 papers on this, where The difference between the first and the second is huge. The UK has only 323 against 4,591. So that is the quantum of research being done in these areas, which is published in top ranked journals. So we have to, as researchers, see, are we able to publish in top ranked journals or not? That should be the aspiration. Inspira is also coming from that word, Inspira. So inspiration, if today's session, if it gives you some inspiration, and see the citation, the difference in the citations as well, that the number of citations are so huge in terms of, obviously the number of publications are used, the citations are supposed to be, you see 3,79,000 citations. So we need to get inspired by these statistics, not to get bogged down by that, and make sure that our publications are also of that high standard. And one of the important things which are being used today is about meta-analysis, which was initially used in the medical world, but is now also used in our fields as well, which is a statistical analysis that combines the results of multiple scientific studies. Meta-analysis can be performed when there are multiple scientific studies addressing the same question, with each individual study reporting measurements that are expected to have some degree of error. Suppose you do a sample study of 500 or 1,000 people, and there are 100 such studies in different countries. If you combine the analysis, the outcomes of those research, that becomes a paper on meta-analysis, which is more profound in terms of the effect size that it gives to you. So you can, I'm inspiring you to use these things which are now being considered important for publication in high impact factor journals, and also for finding out what kind of gap areas you have for your study. You should actually first do SLR and then meta-analysis, and then come out with gap analysis for formulating your objectives and hypothesis of the study. Then there's another field in the field of finance, particularly textual analysis. Professor R.K. Srivastav from US has developed a software also which does analysis of financial statements of public listed companies. Like if you want to know for all the public listed companies in US, that for this particular word, how many annual reports have actually used that. And they say the future of the organization can be predicted based on the textual analysis, because what you say in annual report, the words, they keep on changing depending on your future success or the failures that you're expecting. So the communication changes. So there is huge scope in textual analysis as well. Then there is another field which the researchers are using nowadays, particularly in the online world, the sentiment analysis. So Twitter data analysis or Facebook data analysis and all that can be used. And then approaches to strategy formulations, a content analysis of definitions of strategy. We did kind of a case study for you. So we found that 273 strategy definitions were analyzed in this using major nouns appearing in these definitions. And the study obtained 6 distinct approaches to strategy formulation, namely planning approach, fit approach, emergent approach, resource-based approach, stakeholders approach. I'm just giving you the glimpse of this, that how different analysis can be used for your work that you are intending to do. So this was just a glimpse of some areas of using the tools and techniques to make your work more acceptable for publication in high impact factor journals. Thank you very much, Professor Modi and Professor Rana Singh for inviting me and making this happen, the great, wonderful event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. See, with such an ease and such a significant and simple example of using online technology, how Professor Ajay Kumar Singh has talked about innovation. And sir, I would request you to kindly take a separate session for us describing meta-analysis, textual analysis, and sentiment analysis, because that seemed to be very, very interesting to all of us. Thank you so much, sir. And you can see that so many participants, after listening to your profile, so many participants have also commented in the chat box that they are so highly influenced and they are so motivated by listening to your profile. Thank you so much once again, sir. आपके लिए कह सकते हैं कि सरल व्यक्तित्व, मधुर वाणी, अर्जुन सा लक्ष्य, आसमां से इरादे व निगाहें फिर भी जमीन पर। सर, हम आपके उत्कृष्ट कार्यों से व आपके व्यक्तित्व से जो हम सभी को प्रेरणा मिली है, उसके लिए हम आपका आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। We are so grateful to you for guiding us and for blessing us. Thank you so much for being a part of this conference. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh ji, the chief guest of this conference. And thank you so much, Dr. Aarti ma'am.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Now I welcome the chairperson of today's technical session, Dr. Pastor Argulas, Dean, College of Computer Studies, University of Perpetual Help System Delta, Philippines, Southeast Asia. Professor Dean Pastor actively serves research communities in various roles. He is serving as editorial boards and peer reviewer of different international research journals, chair, co-chair, technical panelist, and member of organizing committee of different international research conferences. He has also served as public lecturer, guest lecturer in University of Raya in Jakarta, Indonesia, KL University in India, and University of Surabaya, Indonesia. His area of research is computer science and information technology. Professor Dean Pastor is International Scientist Award winner in research category 2021 from VT Good Professional Association, Trivandrum, India. He is affiliated to a number of reputed professional associations and boards of Poland, Bhutan, Philippines, and India. It is our pleasure to invite Dr. Dean Pastor for delivering chairperson's address. Welcome, Professor Dean.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, a pleasant evening and afternoon to all the participants, professionals, faculty members, students, organizers, all our honorable guests, all our keynote speakers and our chief keynote speaker, and to all the entities that make this event possible. It is my pleasure and honor to deliver my chairman's address to all of you to this international conference on multidisciplinary research and innovations in finance and strategic management, business economics education, humanities, and social sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and humbled by your presence and by the generous words of the organizer, the Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, Bihar in India, and in partnership with the Inspira Research Association, and all honorable speakers who have proceeded here today. I would like to begin with a few thank you. I want to say a special thank you to Dr. S.S. Modi and Dr. Ravikant Modi for the invitation and the entire institution in partnership also, of course, as I've mentioned, with Inspira Research Association, and of course, to all the presenters and guests as well. I am deeply grateful to the wonderful crowds and participants here to make this who make this conference possible. I warmly congratulate you to the research and innovations in finance, strategic management, and business economics session today. This gathering has been carefully organized to mark such milestone to research of our society. I am very privileged to deliver this message of this important conference. And at this conference, let us all celebrate what we as a professional community have achieved. And addition to that, to our future vision is to create even greater value to all corners of the world. And this conference will be one for us to collaborate and share our thoughts and exchange ideas on how to grab our journey forward to reach goals. And the institution has, I believe that this institution has an exciting program at this conference that will allow all researchers, participants to reflect upon and celebrate all your individual accomplishments, renew friendships virtually, of course, and extend networks and jointly explore present and future research directions. I hope that you will have a productive and fun-filled moment at this very special conference. And to put a conference at this magnitude together is not a small task. And to that end, I want to thank you again, Inspira Research Association, because as Dr. Singh said, Inspira came. It is an inspiration to everyone in terms of inviting everyone, inviting all the guests, inviting all the participants for their tireless efforts to organize this session and tracks. I would like to thank all the sponsoring organizations for providing their generous support. Also, I would like to thank all of the conference participants for their contributions, which are the foundation of this significant conference. And as a discussion of this digital learning, it reminds us nonetheless that human interactions are at the heart of all we do. And that brings to me, of course, here in the Philippines, a question we should pose to ourselves. In this environment of intense intellectual and research activity, how can we build a culture that respects and embraces diversity and inclusion as an indispensable element of academic and research excellence? So we meant well. We tried our best. Good intention is a hall pass through history, a sleeping pill that endures or ensures even the dream. So this is a quote that inspires me, as I hope it would be to us all, that our actions as an institution alone are insufficient and must be matched by something both less tangible and more profound. So a change in cultural outlook, understanding, and respect, each of us must encourage the openness to the perspectives of others and the personal commitment to create better, more inclusive, more equitable. The Chandragupt Institute of Management, and in partnership with Inspira Research Association. So finally, I am deeply grateful for the wonderful organizer, the faculty and staff, the researchers who make up this conference possible. Back to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our chairperson for today's session, Dr. Pastor Argulis from the University of Perpetual Health System, Delta, Philippines. Thank you so much, sir. Very rightly, you have said that we have to create greater values. That is only innovation all about, and we can do it individually and institutionally. And thank you so much for the wishes you have given for Inspira Research Association and the collaborators, because this is how Inspira is trying to create greater values, adding to the think tanks and, bringing all of the galaxy of individuals at the same platform to discuss and come out with the productive deliberations. Thank you so much, sir, for guiding us, inspiring us, and motivating the work which has been done by Inspira so far. Thank you so much, Dr. Pastor Argulis, chairperson for today's session from Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dean Pastor, once again for delivering very impressive speech for this International Multidisciplinary Conference. And sir, we are really proud of you for being supporting to all of us by giving your best in noble spirit always in our academic programs. Thank you so much, Professor Dean Pastor. Now I would like to invite and welcome our today's additional chairperson, Professor Dr. Manvendra Singh Pahwa, Professor and Dean, School of Business, the Assam Kaziranga University, Assam, India. Dr. Manvendra Singh Pahwa, an alumnus of IIMA, is an eminent academician with a rich experience of 21 years, which is a rare blend of academia, industry, corporate consultancy, and research. His area of expertise is corporate finance and business laws. Besides his graduation, post-graduation, and PhD in commerce from Mohanlal Sukhadia University, Udaipur, he is professionally qualified as associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He is also LLM MBA with gold medal. Professor Pahwa has conducted and delivered more than 100 special courses and faculty development programs for a number of government and private institutions, including AICTE, ICSSR, and UGC-sponsored FDPs, UGC, HRDC refresher course, orientation programs throughout the country on research methodology, pedagogy, personal effectiveness and work ethics, SPSS, and financial modeling. He has participated at numerous national and international conferences, chaired the sessions in India and abroad, and his 70 research papers are published in referred national and international journals, including Scopus, conference proceedings, and books. And six, I think, sir, it has increased 6 or 7 or 8, 10 PhD scholars have already been awarded PhD under his guidance, and I think 8 or 9 more are pursuing. And he has also served as Professor, School of Business and Commerce, Manipal University, Jaipur for more than 6 years. And presently he is working as Professor and Dean, School of Business, the Assam Kaziranga University, Jorat, Assam. It is always our pleasure to have Professor Manvinder Singh Pahwa, sir, with us. Always, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Raviji, for giving a snapshot of my profile. First of all, before we start, I would like to congratulate our Chandragupt Institute of, actually, when the name Chandragupt comes, the name of Chanakya comes along with. So Chandragupt Institute of Management and Inspira Research Association for organizing this international conference on multidisciplinary research and innovations. And see, Chandragupt was famous for unifying India in 321 BC. And Inspira Research Association is famous for integrating the researches in various areas like humanities, education, science, technology. So there is a correlation, I would say, and that can be seen because every month there is a new conference with the new titles, and there is an opportunity to produce. There is an opportunity to publish, and this opportunity is being given to all the people, those who participate in the conference. And this is an excellent exercise being done by the Inspira Research Association since very long. Now, this association has become actually international because I can see various international speakers, not only speakers, but various people from abroad, they have participated in this conference. So congratulations to both the institutions, Chandragupt Institute of Management and Inspira Research Association, for coming up with an international multidisciplinary conference. At this outset, I would like to greet Dr. Ajay Kumar Singh, who is the chief guest for the day, Dr. Rana Singh sir, who is patron, our SS Modi sir, who is a person who is behind Inspira, along with the Dr. Ravikant Modi ji, who is the CEO of Inspira. I would say is a person who is executing all the things in a great manner. Besides, we have international chairperson with us, Professor Dr. Pester Argulis Jr., along with a person from Sri Lanka, Dr. Suranga Silva, and from India we have Mamta Jain ji, And last but not least, Dr. Aarti Chopra, who has been instrumental in being the master of the ceremony of almost all the conferences of Inspira. So the innovation has started since this world has started, I would say. We all are human beings and we have brains, we have minds, and whenever it comes to integrate, it comes to collaborate, we work together in order to produce certain new things. Innovations is all about that. So presently, this industry 4.0 is going on. So before this industry 4.0, there are the concepts of, there may be concepts of industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, which started with the steam engine. And the innovation happened in a way that it came to machines. At that time, this concept of industry was not there. So this was industry 1.0, 2.0 came afterwards. Now at present, after automation being witnessed by industry 3.0, we came to the digital transformation. Now after this, there is an imagination, not only imagination, but we can see the things happening through robots, through drones. And that would be, that we would be witnessing industry 5.0 as such. Our generation, I would say, is fortunate enough to see these things happening as such, that the transformation is happening these days, and we are fortunate to witness this transformation happening. And at this juncture of time, when this transformation is happening, where we have started from the steam engine and now coming down to the robotics, the things being done by robots, it's a great transformation which has been witnessed. Now, how to integrate this, how to take maximum out of it is an innovation. There is an innovation happening everywhere. If you see the number of patents coming up in last, you can say 5 years, is the rate at which it has come up has increased a lot, which actually tells us about the innovation being happening all around the world. Now, how to just you can say collect this innovation and disseminate it in a better way. So I would say these conferences, these platforms are there, which actually disseminates to the youth. These conferences actually provides a platform to think and rethink and produce and reproduce the things, which is the form of which we can see is actually the research happening all around. So I would like to congratulate all the members and organizing committee of both the institutions for organizing such conferences and giving us a platform to discuss and further innovate the things from here and onwards. Thank you, Raviji, and thank you, Aarti ma'am, for providing this opportunity. So because there will be more chances for us to speak because the papers are there, and I suppose there are about 44 papers in this conference to be presented. So we will keep on speaking regarding that. So I would like to reserve that time also for the audience to listen. So would leave it over here as such, with all the best wishes to all the paper presenters to be in this conference as such. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Professor Manvinder Singh Pava, sir, Professor and Dean, Assam Kaziranga University, Assam. Sir, very rightly you have said that this is the platform. You are absolutely right that there are so many patents coming up. But if there are no such platforms, how researchers would get to know that what are the new innovations, what are the new patents which are coming up, how the researches are happening all around us. So very nicely you have said that these platforms actually serve as the platform where we can, tell each other that what we have done. So this way we can spread the knowledge we have, the way you always do. So thank you so much, Professor Manvinder Singh Pava, sir. And sir, that always happens with me also when Dr. Ravikant Modi sir gives me the CVs of the people who are the awardees. When I go through the CVs, I also get to know that so many things people are doing, so many patents, so many publications. So basically, this platform is a knowledge spreader. Very rightly, you have said. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this conference, Dr. Pava, sir. Thank you so much once again for being here.
Thank you so much, Pava sir.
Thank you. Thank you. And one
Thank
more
you.
information I would like to share at this platform is that 3 of my patents which were published last year have been granted. 1 is Indian and 2 is Australian. So that is one. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you
Very
so much.
nice, sir. Incredible, sir. You're doing really great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Professor
sir.
Pava, sir, for delivering very informative speech once again. And now I would like to welcome the keynote speaker of today's session, Dr. Dek Suranga Silva, Professor, Tourism Economics at the Department of Economics, Faculty of Arts, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Professor Silva has distinctive skills and competencies in teaching, research, consultancies on tourism economics, environmental economics, development economics, market analysis, including project, revenue and yield management, human resource development, and so on. He is a lead trainer of Global Sustainable Tourism Council for Sustainable Tourism Destination Management. Professor Silva has introduced a new subject, tourism economics, to the higher education and university system of Sri Lanka and introduced new diploma, executive diploma, postgraduate, and masters in tourism economics and hotel management programs to the University of Colombo in Sri Lanka. He is also director of Staff Development Center, University of Colombo, and he has more than 100 publications with the supports of evidence-based research and secondary data analyzing. He is also visiting professor, academic advisor, academic board member at number of international universities. It is our pleasure to have Professor Silva with us right away from Sri Lanka. We, on behalf of Chandragupt Institute and Inspira Research Association, we welcome you, sir.
Very good evening. I am very indeed a great pleasure and privilege. Namaste. And thank you very much for inviting me. It's so valuable academic and expert, and I think galaxy of intellectual gathering here. It's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be a keynote speaker at this particular very valuable conference. Thank you very much. But Sri Lanka is right now facing a very difficult situation. I should remind it that having electricity and food and energy is a very big problem right now. Sri Lanka is experiencing the worst economic situations. Under this situation, I would like to share with you, okay, India has been the main contributor to so far to get more relief for Sri Lanka. Therefore, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude for all Indians to support in this occasion as a near close neighbor of Sri Lankan economy, Sri Lanka. So let me start with this. Asia is the South Asian region is the huge expectation for ever than other regions and other countries. And Sri Lanka and India and other countries are trying their best to capitalize their great potential, which is not yet tapped by yet successfully by any nation in the South Asians. So therefore, South Asian can be named as a story of under potentials. We have huge potential. We have been telling it always, but unfortunately, South Asia has not yet received capitalized their great potential for being yet as a developing region in the world. So when you look at our potentials are so much high. So it's a tip of the iceberg. We can see something a small part, but South Asian can make a huge contribution for world economic development. It is now coming up. So India is the leader in South Asia. So we expect that India will take the leadership of the region and the world in near future. As we know that economy is of three aspects: of production, income, and demand. And this is the economy we call that. If you want to have a good economy, the production must be ensured, then income is coming, then the consumption ability is growing up. So when you look at the situation, the business development of an economy, the business development is very important. That is why business economy is also very important. So that can create the income multiplier, employment, economic growth, foreign exchange earning, government revenue, and economic development. So there can be different type of contribution for economic development. But I like to go very, very brief introduction about neoclassical growth theory. Now, when you look at the growth theories, the neoclassical growth theories explain that capital, availability of labor, and technology are the most important for economic growth. But after that, we can see the new growth theories, the endogenous growth model that very clearly indicated that the investment in human capital, innovation, and knowledge are the most significant contributor to economic growth. So that is what our topic right now. Therefore, the theory focus on the positive externalities, spillover effect of the knowledge-based economy, which can combine knowledge, innovation, and human capital. So there we are focusing today presentation. Strategic human capital is very important. So what is meant by the strategic human capital? That is highly educated, exhibiting specific competencies, experience that is valuable, unique, and inimitable, and strategically important for economic growth and development. This is when you look at this scenario now. Earlier we had this type of situations. We actually emphasize the less research and development. But if we really, as a region, want to make more developed region, we have to change like this. So research and development must be improved, and professional skill must be increased, and semi-skilled rather than the unskilled labor emphasized. When you look at the research and development expenditure, global index, so we can see that we are in the bottom actually, and the other countries are much more better than us. Singapore, South Korea, Japan, China, Vietnam, Japan, and sometimes we are in Sri Lanka is 34th, and India is 115th. So we can understand that that is one of the great challenge we have to go through. What expenditure we are spending for the human capital development, as India is the one of the 1 billion population. So you are the most powerful nation in the world because your population is having every segment. So if you can provide proper training and development, the human capital may create a huge benefit for India. India will be definitely leading the world in future. So when you look at the knowledge and human capital, the knowledge, the expandable and the self-generated in use, it is nobody is going to say that when India is increasing knowledge, it can be a cost for another country. Now this is expandable forever. There is no economies of scarcity problems. So that is economies of self-generations. We don't know the limit of the knowledge. It is transportable and shareable. And it has become a public good right now because of the knowledge and innovation. Now we are using Zoom. It is actually a product right now. We connected India and Sri Lanka within few seconds. So that is what knowledge is so important, and it is expandable forever. We don't know where the knowledge is going to end. But at the same time, knowledge economy is very important. National wealth comes increasingly out of the intellectual activity, what India is practicing right now. National income increases through the knowledge industries. Growth in knowledge industries generate the greatest increase in national income due to the other income. So therefore, knowledge is so important. So knowledge economy, wealth of the nation should lie in the knowledge that their people hold. So value and the protection of traditional knowledge is very important. That is we call local wisdom. Sometime now it is the time local wisdom has been given a good value. So when you go to the innovation index, knowledge index, we can see that India is 75th place, and India is the pioneer and the highest number leader of the region. Sri Lanka is 87th place out of the 138 countries. So knowledge index, India is much more better than other countries in the region. So when you go to the global scenario, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, those countries are the highest countries, the best countries in the world to showing their knowledge index. When you come to the global innovation index, you can see that innovation is coming through the knowledge. So then there are some criteria actually developed in the global level. So when we can see that we as a region is not representing the good position in the world for the innovation index. So what is the impact of innovations? That is also very important. Innovation creates 95% of the competition success. And go green, jobs, partnerships, society, improve the life. These are very important for the innovation. Innovation can create the developed nations. What drives innovation must also be checking. So value of the innovations, how much value we are going to the innovations. Sometimes we have found we have a lot of inventions, but inventions are dying without having directions. So if you look at South Asia, we have developed various people and various institutions have developed various inventions which are very, very valuable, but unfortunately inventions have no directions. So therefore they are ending without having proper production linkage. So patent, private sector investors, budget, governments spendings are very important. Now we know that innovation creates a virtual fitting room right now. Some places, if you visit, okay, you don't need to wear the clothes. You just show the clothes to in front of the computer, then they fix the clothes into your body and showing that it is fit with you. But I would like to highlight here under the given 10 minutes. So who are the countries who are spending a lot of money for the research and development? So US is the number 1, China is the number 2, and Japan is number 3. When you look at the other countries, you can see that we are spending less for research and development. That is the one reason our business are not that much of successful in competitive world. So when you go to this slide, you can see that. So how many big companies generating money out of that research and development? So United States, they are generating 460 billions, and then you can see that China and the European Union, Japan, and South Korea. So it is very clearly indicate that innovations, knowledge are the most important. When you look at the global ranking business organizations, Amazon, Alphabet, Intel, Samsung, Microsoft, these are the companies are generating huge amount of income through their innovations and knowledge. So if you look at the most rich paid CEOs, so sometime if you accumulate this whole CEO's payment, it could be much more higher than Sri Lankan national income. So this is why they are being paid this much. It is a very obvious factor that the innovation is very important. When you look at 1 minute, how much users are joined with this one. So this is very obvious fact that today innovations drive the world. Now, if you look at the Zoom connections, so it is very obvious that how much money because of the COVID pandemic, this Zoom company generating out of their innovations. So when you look at the world 100 most valuable brand 2019, so Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and you can see that everywhere innovation, knowledge are the most important. If you look at the global manufacturing, so the China, USA, Germany is generating a lot of income. So all this behind their success is the knowledge-driven innovations. So when you look at, as clearly mentioned, that fourth industrial revolutions, when we look at the fourth industrial revolutions, it's very important, intelligence and informations. So that is what we believe, that artificial intelligence information technologies are very important. So this is also indicating that knowledge innovations are the most important. So when you look at the agriculture sector, fourth industrial revolutions, so most of the agriculture productions are happening through the knowledge. Finally, doing in the business, 2020 or 2022 or 2021, we can see that success of doing the business can also be determined by the various factors. Among these factors, empowered competencies are the most important. So therefore, to conclude my presentations, so as a nation, as a region, we should understand the new paradigm shift, that is sustainable development, and knowledge enhancement and sustainable development are mutually inclusive each other. Knowledge-driven world, knowledge seekers, knowledge-driven innovations, and finally, successful nation with the well-equipped modern technology and innovations are the most important. But very important factor is we have to ensure the sustainable development. So how do we can we achieve that one? Knowledge management is the most important. Process of the capturing, distribution, and the knowledge we are using to the right production, very useful for the society, is the very important factor. Finally, I think that when you look at the perpetual motions of machine of economic growth and development, if you want to get a high standard of living, incentive for innovation can create the new better techniques and new better products that create new forms and that create more income, more leisure, then we can get the higher standard of living. So therefore, it is obvious fact that innovation, knowledge are the most important for the researchers as academic. We have to encourage for our students to do more evidence-based, action-oriented, product-driven, result-created research. So otherwise, our research would not be very practical for the people-centric development. So therefore, I would like to highlight one very important thing. In Singapore example, Singapore using MPH model, the meritocracy is given high priority, pragmatism is given, and honesty of the nations and individuals. So what Sri Lanka is lacking this one. Meritocracy is not given, and pragmatism is not there, and honesty of the politicians is questionable. So at the end, I would like to thank India and making support for us at this present crisis situation. Sri Lanka is having a very difficult situation. This is the worst scenario in Sri Lanka. So 20 million people are suffering, and inflation is rocketing, and the world highest inflations, and we have the debt trap. So therefore, finally, I would like to thank India is supporting the crisis in Sri Lanka, all possible ways. We have petrol, diesel because of India is supporting, and thank you very much. And we are in a very difficult situation. We hope one day Sri Lanka will recover back and make a better position in the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Silva. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dex Suranga Silva. It was indeed a wonderful presentation on knowledge and innovation. Very true, you have said, sir, that the best technique to face the competition in today's world is with innovation only. And as you have said that US, China, and Japan are ahead in research and development, and then taking calculative risk to innovate is the way to deal with the increase in competition today. And sir, when we talk about innovation, I had always heard this question that why to reinvent the wheel? For the first time, Dr. Suranga, in your presentation, I just saw the answer that there is no need to reinvent the wheel, but we have to make it adaptable as per the local environment. So it is something new which I have also got to know today from your presentation. And And very true that Industry 4.0 is all about artificial intelligence plus knowledge innovation, as you said. Very nicely you have presented, sir. Thank you so much for this effective presentation. And we really wish from the whole of India that the economic crisis in Sri Lanka goes away very, very soon. And again, the country blooms and, becomes a popular tourist spot for all of us once again. Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you. Indeed, a wonderful, knowledgeable, and inspiring speech by Professor Silva Suranga, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much once again on behalf of Chandragupt Institute and Inspira Research Association. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Now, I would like to welcome and invite our another eminent keynote speaker for today's session, Professor Dr. Mamta Jain, Professor and Convener, BOS EFM, Department of Economic Administration and Financial Management, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. Ma'am's research projects includes corporate social responsibility in Indian banking sector, a strategic implications on customer 2011, a study of customer preferences of banking products 2012, microfinance as a tool for corporate social responsibility in banking sector 2012, and currently ongoing project, a study of FDI as determinants for transforming and enhancing quality of Indian higher education systems from 2016. Her area of specialization is banking. She have authored books, Insurance HRD Practices 2007, Monetary Policy of India in 2009, Monetary Economic in 2009, International Banking in 2010, Banking Management and Administration in 2010, Indian Banking System in 2010, and Transport Economic in 2011. She was awarded Research Award by the UGC, and she is member of All India Commerce Association, All India Accounting Association, and Rajasthan University Women Association also. She has been holding many administrative positions in University of Rajasthan as Chief Warden, Rajasthan University Women Hostels, Vice Principal, University Commerce College, Jaipur, etc. It is our pleasure to have Professor Mamta Jain with us. On behalf of Chandragupt Institute and Inspira Research Association, we welcome you, ma'am. We welcome you. Please unmute.
Thanks, Ravi, for such a generous introduction. And good evening, one and all. And first of all, respected distinguished speakers and participants all over the country. First of all, I would like to give the thanks to the organizers, Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, and Inspira Research Association for providing such a wonderful platform to discuss our views on different aspects. And as my earlier speaker discussed a lot about research, about innovation, about finance. So there are so many such topics have been discussed here, but my topic is a little bit different. And the different is not in like that, but it's a sub-theme of this conference as women empowerment. As everybody knows that any country can develop only through the women's. If we are making women empowered, then no country can be the underdeveloped. And as we know that our countries, females constitute 50% of the population, total population, and perform 2/3 of the work and produce 50% of food commodities consumed by the country. And they earn 1/3 of the remuneration, but own 10% of the property and wealth of the country. And as we know that every year there are a lot of such kind of days, as we can say Women's Day, Mother's Day, Daughter's Day, a lot of discussion, immense discussion, and last a few decades. and there is a top agenda of the government in all policies and we can say plans. But still, only we can say that the economic empowerment is given to them, but the still, like we can say, health, education, social empowerment, legal empowerment, and other empowerments are missing somewhere. So what exact the women empowerment? We can say that women empowerment means increasing and empowering and improving the social, economic, political, legal strength of the women, and ensure that they are getting the equal rights and just make them confident enough to claim their rights. So women empowerment, as we see that earlier in an ancient Indian society, women were very much adored and worshipped as goddesses. But in the Middle Age, status of women got down to great extent. And women are considered in the society only to perform duties like bringing up children, caring every family member, and other household activities. And there is an old and traditional faith of people coming out for the years that men are for the fields and whereas women are only for the home. So nowadays, women are breaking all the barriers of social issues and problem against them in the society. So a lot of efforts have been put by the government, but still there is a lot of problems and challenges women are facing. What kind of challenges they are facing? As like we can say, infanticides, female infanticide, sexual harassment, dowry death, bride burning, disparity in education, domestic violence, child marriages, malnutrition, low status in the family, rape cases, acid attack, honor killing, and always women are considered as inferior to women in the society and always kept on bottom of the society with lot of limitations on the name of tradition and the religion. And they don't have the right of the education, property, and leadership. So how can we give the women how can we make the women empowered? So there are the forms of women empowerment. We can say like economic empowerment. In economic empowerment, we just provide them to access the economic resources and the opportunities, including jobs, including like property rights and other productive assets like skill development, market informations, so that they can be empowered through economically and they can raise their voice at every stage of life. And the political empowerment, as like we know that in a political Article 243 D3, one total number of seats are filled direct election in every panchayat and we can say result for women. And in the same way, in 2000, 108 amendments also give the 33% reservation in Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. But that bill is still pending. There is no such any improvement in that, and there is no such any action is taken. Why? We are talking about the women empowerment, but there is no such any action is taken on that. And educational empowerment. Education is considered one of the most important means to empower women. And how enhance the knowledge, skill, self-confidence for women empowerment, property, development, welfare. So women education in India plays a very important role in the overall development of the country. And education is a potent tool in the empowerment of women and considered as a milestone for women empowerment. Next is the social empowerment. Social empowerment means addresses the social discrimination existing in the society and based on disability, race, ethnicity, religion, or the gender. Health empowerment. Health empowerment means we should give the health and better health facilities, safety to the female, to the women. So women's health and safety is another important area. Empowerment of women begins with the guarantee of their health and safety. Health concern of women are paramount for the well-being of a country. No nation can develop without the malnutrition of the female, without the not well-being of a country, like a female. So we can say that these are the important factors in causing the empowerment of women in a country. Psychological empowerment. Females are facing a lot of some emotional, sentimental, challenges in the house, and no one is listening to them. No one is caring to them. So psychological empowerment is also necessary to empower the nation, to empower the country, to empower the female. Legal empowerment. Legal empowerment means make them aware about the civil rights, exercising the legal rights whenever necessary, preparing the canvassing the documents regarding the legal freedom for women, providing good literacy program regarding the legal empowerment. And there is a lot of such kind of we can say rights available. We can classify it into two categories. One is the constitutional rights and the legal rights. Constitutional rights are those which are provided in the various provisions of the Constitution. And the legal rights, on the other hand, are those which are provided in the various laws of the Parliament and the state legislatures. Constitutional right is given so much, but still there is so much like a crime against female. There is so much discrimination against female. So what the Constitution? I will not go for each and every constitutional rights, but a few I will mention here. As like Article 51 says that states shall not discriminate against any citizen of India on the ground of sex. Article 15(3) states that state is empowered to make any special provision for women. And in other words, we can say provision enable the state to make affirmative discrimination in favor of women. No citizen shall be discrimination against or be ineligible for any employment or office under the state on the ground of sex. So these are the constitutional rights. There are so many constitutional rights have been given here. I will not discuss each and every one. So I can say that there is a lot of such kind of constitutional right, but still female is facing a lot of challenges. And in the similar way, as we have discussed, 1/3 reservation in panchayat and gram panchayat and panchayat samiti, and but that as we see that she has become the sarpanch, but every decision has been taken by the husband. And there is no such any kind of a voice can be raised by the female. And she's just dummy sarpanch and dummy pradhan and dummy member of that chairperson and all. So these are the constitutional legal rights. Legal rights also given to the female, as Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. And we can say Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, Maternity Benefits Act 1961, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971, and Muslim Women Protection of Right on Divorce Act 1986, because Muslim women face a lot of challenges in divorce cases and all. And Equal Remuneration Act 1976, there's a discrimination in the remuneration also paid to the females. And Family Courts Act, Indian Penal Codes are there, and Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Hindu Succession Act 1956, Minimum Wages Act 1948. Everything is given in the constitutional and the legal rights to the female, but always the discrimination. So legislation also contains certain rights and safeguards for women, as we can say Special Marriage Act, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, National Commission for Women Act 1990, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition, Redressal Act 2013, and Bonded Labor System Abolition Act 1976, Employee State Insurance Act. So these are the such kind of provisions are made for the female. But whenever the female is facing any kind of challenge, then no act, no legal rights, no constitutional rights in the support of the female. And might be they are not aware of that. So role of NGO in women empowerment. NGO can make any kind of role, as we can say, educating the rural women's, supplementation of government efforts. If the government has introduced some plans and some we can say any kind of flagship schemes for the female, then that time NGO can come forward to support them. And representing the rural women, NGO can promote technology in rural areas. NGO can efforts organizing the rural women, building various model and experiments, providing effective and efficient training to rural women, and mobilizing the optimum resources and promoting rural leadership. So NGO can play a very major role in enhancing and empowering the females in rural areas, and not only rural areas, but as well as in urban areas. So there is a very big role of NGO. And there is a government schemes and programs for women empowerment, as like Ministry of Women and Child Development and the Central Social Welfare Board are implementing various welfare schemes and programs for women, as like we can say Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Abhiyan, introduced by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And short stay home program, awareness generation program, scheme for combating trafficking, Swadhar scheme for women in difficult circumstances, women empowerment and livelihood program amid magnetic plane Priyadarshini, and schemes like we can say gender budgeting scheme, one-stop center scheme, women helpline scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Mahila Shakti Kendra. So these are the many programs have been introduced, and last many years they have been just in the practice and implementation. Education is also there, but still the women are facing a lot of challenges. And education helps women empowerment. As we know that education is the tool through which the female can empower themselves. So more and more education and literacy programs should be implemented and executed. And it is started, but there is no effective implemented execution of these programs of education and others. And education also helps women empowerment factor like cultural, social, political, technological changes in the world. And education can revolutionize social change and economical and political empowerment to the female. So as we can say I will not take too much time. There is some suggestions have been given here. And I will also give that the government should give more emphasis on female education to increase empowerment level of women. Government should be created more opportunity for female empowerment, create awareness of women education and availability of support service among the women. And government NGO should arrange many awareness programming collaborations, and more scheme related to women entrepreneurship could be great help to empower. And funding as self-help groups, as we noticed that, observed that there is such a fair and exhibitions, lot of are arranged frequent basis, regular basis. And what is that? Because they have come forward by just funding by the bank, funding by the government, funding by the other financial institutions. So they are coming forward, but there's still a lot of efforts have to be put in that for empowering the women. So in the last and the concluding part, I can say that we see that in 21st century society of being accepted women's empowerment for development of the world. And they have realized that without the empowering the women, no nation can develop. And we just not rely on depend on the government and NGO and other. We should start from our home, and rather we should respect the females as a daughter, as a sister, as a mother, as a colleague, as a other way of the forms. So women empowerment makes them independent decision makers, and they can take their own decision. And as our Bhimrao Ambedkar says that empowerment of women is the true empowerment of nation. And if we empower the one female, then we are empowering the two families, as we listen and observe and also see in the families, and when the one lady is empowered, means the like the complete family is empowered, and complete family is aware and educated. So I will just like give the thanks again to the organizer for providing me such a wonderful opportunity. Thanks to like in the collaborations, name of Chandragupt Institute of Management and Inspira. And thanks again to Lord.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Mamta Jain, ma'am, Professor, Department of EFM, University of Rajasthan. Ma'am, the topic was so beautiful, and this is the beauty of multidisciplinary conference, that we include commerce also, humanities also. And ma'am, this is such a wonderful topic. I was actually lost. मैं तो बिल्कुल खो गई थी आपकी बातों में, क्योंकि we represent the half of world's population. And ma'am, till today, honestly, till today, we are living in 21st century, but then also in the educated and affluent families also, we can see that the women empowerment is getting bashed, and there is so much of discrimination. And so wonderfully you have said that you educate a man, and when you educate a woman, you educate the whole family. And ma'am, I wish to take 1 more minute to tell you the recent example. Yesterday only I read that example. Ma'am, Neetu Singh, you know, there is one a Bollywood actress, Neetu Singh. She came as a judge in some reality show, and she was wearing bright color dress, and she was dancing. And there were so many people trolling her for not wearing white sari because she lost her husband. Less than 1 year has been done. But ma'am, I have seen so many men getting remarried within 1 year of losing their wife. That is also, I mean, that is okay for them. But when it comes to women, so many restrictions are still there, even in educated and affluent families. So we have to give them empowerment, psychological empowerment, legal empowerment. Very beautifully you have put it, ma'am. Thank you so much. You are such a wonderful woman. You are such a wonderful professor and a wonderful boss, because I know you are my boss, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Professor Mamta, ma'am, for delivering informative, impressive, and wonderful speech, ma'am. Thank you so much once again, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, we may start paper presentation by the participants with the permission of our chairperson, Professor Dean Pasture, and additional chairperson, Professor Manvinder Singh Pava, sir. Sir, please, can we start, sir?
Yes, sir. It's my honor to have with you the privilege and the right to open the presentation of participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Dr. Ravi, we can start, but would like to give some you can say instructions to the presenters.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. Please restrict your presentation till 3 to 4 minutes, not more than that, and please be precise, right? Because we have to see what objectives and how you have actually fulfilled those objectives. That will be the main part which we will be looking forward for, right? So without wasting time, let us just start. Raviji, please
Yes,
proceed.
yes, yeah. So the serial number three, Bala Usha Shri, research scholar from Uttar Pradesh. Yes, Bala Usha Shri, please unmute.
One more thing, Raviji, before we proceed, because this is a conference, and those who are presenting, they have to be on with your videos.
Yes, yeah.
For their presentations, and please ensure your bandwidth at your end and present it precisely. Yes, Balaji. Please share your screen. Your time has started.
Yes, yeah, are you going to share your screen, or you are going oral presentation?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen, sir. So is it visible?
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is
not
visible,
visible,
but screen, you have to present the presentation on the screen, I suppose.
Yes, sir. Is a presentation visible, sir?
No, not yet.
Madam, please click on the share screen button, the green
Yes,
button,
sir.
and then share your presentation.
Yes, sir. Is it visible now?
Now it's coming, yeah.
Yes, sir. Every individual, irrespective of the job roles we have, there is a driving factor. Though this topic of mine seems to be age-old or stereotype, but still, this is a factor which we all can't deny and will be looking for in our jobs. Yes, it is nothing but the job satisfaction. Highly honorable dignitaries of the conference, respected professors, dear scholars, a very good evening to all of you. Myself, Bala Ushasri, under the guidance of Dr. Jitendra Kumar Singh, I'm here to present you all about a study of the factors affecting the job satisfaction of the BPO industries in Hyderabad. There are 4 M's which are available for any business. They are men, material, money, and machinery. Out of these 4, human resources are the only live resources which make the other M's work.
And your slides are not moving.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know where I got stuck.
Only one screen is visible, ICMRI conference presentation.
I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, I'm very sorry for the technical glitches. I'd like to continue. So the human resources are a vital part of any organization, and its importance and necessary is required globally. And this is the most crucial factor of production. The productivity increases with job satisfaction. BPOs, which is one of the fast growing sectors of India, depends on the skills of the people and their knowledge. This study of mine lays an emphasis on the factors influencing the job satisfaction among the employees in the BPOs. The study was conducted through a self-designed questionnaire on 60 employees of the different BPOs in Hyderabad. And after reviewing and analyzing the research literature based on the job satisfaction. Job satisfaction, there are many scholars who have defined the job satisfaction. It is a pleasurable emotional state resulting from the appraisal of one's job as achieving or facilitating the achievement of one's job values. And BPOs, as we all know, these are the type of outsourcing where service is provided of the third party is employed to carry out the desired business or a function. Job satisfaction basically refers to the attitudes of the employees towards their job. Job satisfaction is related to the humanitarian perspectives as they deserve to be treated finely and fairly at work. Motivation and satisfaction are closely linked to each other, but they are 2 different aspects which are often confused. With the changing job patterns from heredity to individual decisions, the term job satisfaction is vastly used among the current generation. And the background of my study goes as the employees in the BPOs, especially in the calls, they face a lot of stress, mental agony, and abuses. There are many incidents in the past, including death of BPOs, in spite of many researchers providing various suggestions towards the improvement of the conditions of the BPO employees. The conditions still remain the same, and very few BPOs have taken the steps to change these conditions. I have used quantitative research, which was conducted on 60 employees, as I mentioned earlier, and primary data using a 16-point questionnaire was used, and it was done through a snowball and a convenience sampling using Google Forms. And the limitations will go as because the job satisfaction is basically depending on the attitudes of the people. So many may change their answers at times, and it may vary according to the time. Time factor was a constraint to go into the depth, and a qualitative study along with the quantitative would have added up more information to this research.
Usha Sriji, only 2 minutes more.
Yes, sir. I'm almost about to finish. And
but your slides still not
your
moving.
Slides are, you have not
Yes,
moved your slides, not even one slide has moved. Please go on your research methodology part.
Just click on that slide.
yes, sir.
Please
Just
go
click
on your
on that.
research methodology part, RM part. Where is that?
Here, sir. Is it visible? The
Yeah, it
RM
is
part?
visible, but your slides are not moving at all right from the beginning. So you
Ma'am.
please click that slide which is having that RM part, right? There is a panel on your left hand side, I suppose. So click that slide. You can scroll it down. I hope
Yes,
you are
sir.
able to do that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
This
please
is
scroll
research
down and
methodology.
click your RM part.
Yes, sir. Here it is. I can see the RM here.
We
No,
cannot-
but we are not able to see, ma'am. You can do one thing. You
Huh.
can share again. Do unshare and then share again. I think, sir, you can continue. No problem. You can.
Okay,
can
you
tell
just
your RM
conclude
part
that.
to-
Yeah, you have talked about, yeah, now it is visible.
Okay, sir. So it's now visible?
Yeah, it's visible. So what was what type of research you have done? Is it or
It's a quantitative research, sir.
quantitative is okay? Every research is quantitative only. My question to you is that you have taken sample of 60. What type of sampling you have chosen?
So I have chosen snowball and convenience sampling.
Okay, may I know the reason for that?
So this
Why not random sampling?
random sampling was used to collect the companies, and as Hyderabad is a vast area, and I have randomly selected few companies from which I have selected 60 employees.
Okay, just
And-
last question to you. What new you have found? I can show you 50 researches on job satisfaction among BPO employees. So
Yes,
what
sir.
what is your new finding in it? Because it should not be again reinventing the wheel.
Yes, sir.
We should
So,
that's what Professor Silva was also saying, that we should not reinvent, we should fit the wheel in the present situation. So your
Yes,
wheel
sir.
doesn't actually gets fitted in the present situation, I see.
Previously, we were talking that the working conditions should be improved in the BPOs. But in my survey, I have found out that there is a positive side on the working conditions, training, and teamwork. So in my conclusion part, I could say that there is a positive side on the working conditions, training, and teamwork, which the employees are satisfied with.
I
In the
would
previous-
say you should use a proper hypothesis testing, particularly to conclude your findings, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So that has not yet not been done. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So thank you, ICMRI, for providing me this opportunity.
Thank you, Ushaji. Thank you. Thank you so much. The next presenter is at serial number 5, Dr. Komal Ahuja. Yes, Komal Ahuja ji, please unmute. Dr. Komal Ahuja, Assistant Professor from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Please unmute. Okay, I think there is some network problem at your side. You have written in the chat box also.
Okay, she may continue with her presentation without video if it is so.
But sir, actually very low bandwidth.
So we can take her afterwards without wasting
Yeah,
time
yeah.
and go on
Komal ji,
further presentation.
you can do one thing. You can try again after some time, or you can send your PPT on our mail ID also. We will consider it as your presentation with the permission of Professor Pawar.
Yeah, sure, can be done.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, the serial number 6, Dr. Pragyan Dangwal, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. Yes, Pragyan ji, please unmute and start your video. Yeah, please unmute. Pawar sir, please unmute.
Yeah.
A very good evening to everybody, respected chairperson, additional chairperson, and all the panelists and co-presenters. This work is on emotional intelligence and emotional agility. It is an intervention plan for thriving at workplace and life. Now, to be successful in one's personal and professional lives, it is important that we connect to people and we have people skills. And apart from that, we also need to have a strong command on our emotional state and do not allow our emotions to dictate our decisions. This helps us not only to make better decisions, but to learn successfully from others. While emotional intelligence is grounded in measuring one's ability to manage emotional is based on interpersonal skills rather than their behaviors and attitudes being affected by emotions. Emotional agility, on the other hand, is found by measuring how agile someone is at managing their emotions rather than allowing their emotions to manage them. So an individual must learn to face their emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. They should know how to learn, and they should learn how to react in the most appropriate way, be resilient, be focused, and learn to make small conscious changes in one's habits and attitudes and move on in life and flourish. I guess flourishing, thriving is what we achieve in our personal and professional life. So a healthy environment would be one in which a person is able to openly discuss the challenges and difficulties they face. Safe in the knowledge that everyone else is aware and honest about the same issues, and an environment of positivity, mutual admiration, support, rather than competition and criticism. Because in today's time, this is largely the emotions which people face in their personal and professional life. So emotional intelligence and emotional agility can be used to process our emotions and use them to our advantage rather than to mask our emotions. So a balance needs to be found between the competence and the challenge, and learn to thrive at our workplace. So we do have the interventions which are planned. Here, the interventions that I am saying are in totality, because we have when we start with early interventions, that's the best. And emotions is something which we can take care of right in the beginning, right when the child is growing up and learning to express their emotions. So an intervention plan needs to understand the person's emotional habits and how they influence the results and how it can be achieved. Then there need to be we need to increase the behavioral range and the emotional self-awareness that optimizes this impact. There is also a need to learn techniques to deal with challenging emotions in ourselves and others. That is where your emotional intelligence comes in, and to be more assertive and cultivate the presence through compassion, acceptance, and gratitude. That is where your agility comes in.
Yeah, Dr. Pragya, I hope you have finished your presentation. Am I correct? Dr. Pragya?
I think, again, network issue from our side.
She's lost the
Dr.
connection.
Pragyan Gangwal, are you there? She's there, but
yeah, I hope we can proceed further. Actually, the input over here is that there is no relationship being found over here between emotional intelligence and emotional agility. I think that she may work on that, and that can be an improvement part on the paper. We can proceed further, Raviji.
okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, the next presenter, serial number 8, Arun Mandal. Arun Mandal from Kolkata. Yes, Arunji, please unmute. Yes, sir.
Yes. Shall I present the screen, sir?
Yeah, start.
Yeah,
Please start, Arunji.
Good evening, all. The title of the paper is E-Banking and Customer Satisfaction and Assessment. E-Banking includes online banking, virtual banking, internet banking, smart cards, telebanking, etc. And customer satisfaction depends on security, convenience, accessibility, system quality, cost, etc. Banks are adopting, this is a literature review part, banks are adopting different strategies to increase customer satisfaction through banking. Customer satisfaction depends on various factors such as psychological factor and economic factor. Banks are emphasizing to increase the level of customer satisfaction with the intention to improve customer loyalty. E-banking is based on advanced technologies to provide several banking facilities to customers. The success of banks depends on long-term relationship with customers. Banks are adopting new technology to provide banking services to customers. Customer satisfaction is essential behind adoption, is essential for the success of public and private sector banks. There is a print invested. Banks deliver e-banking services properly to raise customer loyalty. E-banking enables the customers to conduct a wide range of financial transactions. The study is based on primary and secondary data. Secondary data has been collected from journal articles and primary data has been collected from North 24 Pargana districts in West Bengal. The sample size is 200. Male, out of the respondent, male was 70%, female 30%, and the age was 20 to 30, 30%, 30 to 40, 32%, 40 to 50, 20%, 50 to 60, 11%, above 67%. The first question was private banks delivered better e-banking services than public banks. So 82% agree, 18% disagree. Many customers avoid e-banking due to security threat. 71% agree, 29% disagree.
Arunji, have you done any? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Have you done any hypothesis testing in this, or just
no, sir.
agree
No,
and
sir.
disagree percentage is being shown?
It is a very simple study based on primary data, no statistical use.
Okay, so the inferences will also not be statistical at all, I suppose.
Yes. But
Yeah, and if one more input for you, Arunji. E-banking and customer satisfaction you can do even pre and post, or because pre has gone. So post, you can say pandemic assessment you can do, right? Or
yes,
something related to some put some hypothesis testing, particularly to make it you can say robust and some firm research. Otherwise, just taking percentage will not make it good, I suppose. Arunji, I hope you take it up, right?
yes.
Yeah. So can you conclude in 1 minute?
Yes.
Please do that.
Conclusion is customer satisfaction plays a vital role behind the success of e-banking. Customers prefer e-banking than traditional banking in recent years. Customer satisfaction is considered as an important factor for customer retention.
Now, see, this conclusion can also be done without your research. So what is the meaning of that? So please take it as an input, right? And you can improve this further in various other scenarios. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Raviji, next we can go for.
Yes, the next presenter is Mr. Ashish Sangwan, serial number 9. Mr. Ashish, please unmute. Please unmute. He is PhD scholar. Please unmute, sir. Please unmute. No, please unmute. You have to unmute. You have to click on unmute. I am already asked to unmute.
Sir,
Yes. Now it's coming. Please. It's echoing because you are logging from 2 devices.
yes, sir. Actually, just a second. I'm extremely sorry.
But it will echo. No. Now you are unmuted. I mean muted. Please unmute. Unmute from only one device. Otherwise, the voice will be echoing. These are some technical glitches.
This takes a lot of time in between. Actually. One can do a survey on this. Means there can be a research on that. Section of users, particularly regarding this technical glitches which happens in between. Actually, nothing is there from Zoom platform, but yes, please, there is some more training required, I suppose, for the users.
You have to click on unmute. Please unmute.
Sir, I've done it again.
No, it's okay. Please speak.
Okay, I'm sorry, and sir, I will next whatever research I will do, I will ensure to do.
No, but your voice is coming now very clearly.
Yeah, voice is clear.
Your voice is clear. You can continue. Are you going to present your paper or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then please present. Now it's coming good.
Screen sharing is also coming up now.
I'm extremely sorry for the inconvenience because of me, sir.
No issues. It would be good if you can on your video also.
Sir, my video is.
Fine. Continue then. No issues.
Am I not visible, sir?
Your video is not visible. Your presentation slides are visible. Please continue now. We don't have time actually.
I am extremely sorry, sir, for all the inconvenience. A very good evening to all the respected panel members, respected professors and guest speakers. My topic for today is a comparative study of e-commerce versus traditional commerce in India. These are the contents of my paper for today. Introduction. Brick and mortar is usually referred to the conventional building material, but nowadays this term is used as a connotation to the traditional retail model. Any retail store with a physical location offering products and services to its customer is termed as a brick and mortar store. Prior to this evolution of e-commerce, most of the business activities were carried out at these brick and mortar stores. E-commerce refers to the buying and selling of goods and services over the internet. Origin, with a moderate start in 1995-96, e-commerce has witnessed a blistering growth in the recent years. The credit of the rapid this growth goes to the expanding internet user base availability, and because of the availability of the budget smartphones in Indian market. With 0.63 billion internet users and 0.50 billion smartphone users of India's 1.38 billion population, Indian e-commerce industry stands at $48.5 billion US dollar. In early days, e-commerce was mostly confined to travel-related or matrimonial alliance services. But these days, commerce has begun to be a requisite for most of the commercial activities. Why study e-commerce? Indian retail market is estimated to be $600 billion US dollars and stands one of the top 5 retail markets in the world by economic value, and Indian e-commerce industry stands at 48.5 US dollars. With the current growing trends, India e-commerce industry is expected to grow to 100 billion US dollars by 2021 and doubling to 200 billion dollars by 2026. It is evident that customers these days are adopting e-commerce for sales and purchase of goods and services because of its advantage over the traditional methods. There are majorly 4 types of e-commerce models. I will not go in detail, just read out the names: business to consumer e-commerce, business to business e-commerce, consumer to consumer e-commerce, and consumer to business e-commerce. Click and brick. Sir, we are in a critical stage of change in the context of business activities and strategies. With the e-commerce emerging and overtaking the traditional business model, these days we are witnessing that traditional stores are adopting e-commerce model while retaining the physical store and continuing offering services and products over internet mode also. Such outlets perform on dual mode of both traditional retail stores and also in online shopping. Sir, I would like to skip this slide because of time restraint. There are the unique features of e-commerce. It is evident that customers these days are adopting e-commerce for sales and purchase of goods and services because of its advantages of the traditional methods. Though there are a lot of unique features, I would.
Ashish, please conclude now. So time is already up. Please
okay,
conclude and tell us one thing that. What is how you have actually distinguished between what was the need of doing this research? Why you have done this?
Sir, actually, my topic of my PhD is a comparative study of e-commerce and traditional retail business with special reference to changing consumer buying behavior from brick to click. So I wanted to actually कहने को बहुत जल्दी कहते हैं कि भाई ई-कॉमर्स हो रहा है, ई-कॉमर्स बहुत लोग यूज कर रहे हैं. मैं इसको डिटेल में देखना चाहता था कि क्या वजह है, क्या कोई एक इंडिविजुअल किस एज ब्रैकेट में, किस वजह से, किस सेगमेंट के अंदर, मैंने 14 कैटेगरीज, आई हैव टेकन 14 कैटेगरीज, उसके अंदर अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट्स का, कि उसके अंदर कोई क्यों ऑनलाइन लेता है, क्यों ऑफलाइन लेता है, ऑनलाइन लेता है तो ऑनलाइन कहाँ से, कौन सी साइट से लेता है, ऑफलाइन लेता है तो कहाँ से लेता है, उसके पीछे उसकी क्या सोच होती है। तो माइन वाज अ बिग 42 पेज क्वेश्चनर, और उसमें मैंने ये सारी डिटेल्स करके
आशीष जी, इतना लंबा क्वेश्चनर बनाने की जरूरत है नहीं। आप, there are various techniques by which you can reduce it and you can make the things, but here you have not presented any good research, I suppose, because this is just a difference between these things and which are obvious. See, research paper comprise of certain things which are unique. You are saying that you want to go for in-depth things. So first of all, you must know what is there in the research itself, what has already been done. Literature survey will tell you, right? And on the basis of that, what is not there and how it is impacting, that you would have studied, right? And you would have made this in rather a theoretical, completely a theoretical paper, a comparative analysis, a quantitative techniques with the help of lot of quantitative techniques are there which can be used in order to make it robust, right? So these are the suggestions. You can take it up and make this study a better one, right?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the suggestions.
Raviji, next.
Thank you so much, Ashish ji. Next presenter is Dr. Pallavi Kumari, Associate Professor, Faculty of Management Study, ICMRI University, Jharkhand.
Serial number 15, I suppose, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Please unmute, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Pallavi, you are not visible.
So my camera is on and my slide is also shared.
Okay, yes. Now we can see.
Yes. So the article paper, the research paper name is Innovative HR Technology Trends Embracing Digital Transformation. So the basic aim of this paper is to study as how the HR personnels are using the adoption, how they are adopting the digital transformation. So in present scenario, we have seen that digitalization has taken a major role. If we talk about as how the HR people, they are incorporating them, starting from the recruitment process to career planning to different level of knowledge, and how their expectations are changing from the employers. So because of the digitalization, we have seen that the role of HR managers are also changing, the way they are performing, and it is also changing the organizational culture a lot. So digitalization has brought a lot of, the flexibilization in the organization, and with that, a lot of changes are taking place. So the major objective of my paper is to study why there is need of digitalization, what challenges the HR professionals are facing, and what strategies that can be incorporated in easy to make ease of the adoption of digitalization process. So these are the basic, the bullet points will show you as how the HR professional, they are using digitalization process.
Slides are not moving.
That is digital onboarding, employee self-service portal, analytics, AI power applicant tracking system, HR chatbox, recruiting chatbox, and digital adoption platforms. So these are the latest buzzwords which are used among the HR professionals. But there are still a lot of challenges which has been faced by the HR professional. First thing is that the lack of interest among the people to adopt this. There's a mismatch among the financial benefits and the employee satisfaction. The HR professional, they need to understand as how to respect the people interest. Because
the slides are not moving. I think you don't want to move it, or it is what I don't know.
Sir,
it is not moving at all. Or are you not moving it intentionally because you are not on the next slide? So please go on the objectives part of your research.
Yes.
Yes. That would be good. I hope, please move it further and back and forth so that we can see whether it is moving properly or not.
Yes.
Fine. Now you can, please show me the research methodology part.
Okay, sir. So I was talking about the challenges. Now the challenges is to respect the people interest. The challenges is to understand the trends, upcoming trends which are there in the HR, to understand whether the goal of digital transformation strategy, that goal will be fulfilled or will be matching with the organization or not. In order to understand that digitalization process will take some budget. So that budget need to be properly planned
to understand whether the people in the organization, they have the expertise to understand this digital transformation project or not, and to see as how this digitalization process will altogether take the organization to the next level. So in fact, there is no denying fact that digitalization process has now become the heart of organization. It is improving the quality of HR process. It is altogether minimizing the HR human errors, enhancing the quality of hiring. That is in recruitment. We have seen as how the people are doing virtual recruitment, as how the transparencies are being done in all the process. The onboarding process that are also streamlined through HR, through digitalization, freeing up the employee time, optimizing data integrity, and creating positive employee experiences. So a lot of things nowadays are being done by AI and data driven. So now the solution which my paper has given in terms of for the HR professionals, how smartly they can adopt the digital process. So before digitalization, they should do the brainstorming. They should actually talk among the cross team whether this process will be easily adopted or what are the hurdles that will come along. They should take the feedback from the customers in order to do the real-time decision. And most probably the resource management planning and IT resource support has to be checked whether these are going to support the challenges or not. And most
Dr. Pallavi, on what basis you are, I think these are the suggestions which you are, suggestions in the form of strategies you want to give, or
yes, it is in the form of strategies which the HR professional can incorporate in their policies before they adopt any type of digitalization.
Got your point, Pallavi ji, but these strategies means from where you have got these?
Yes, sir.
That is again a question, because
yes,
these strategies, even each strategy can be a separate research paper.
Yes, of course.
It should come out of the research itself.
Yes, sir. So now your question is from where I have taken these suggestions. Actually, this is a very contemporary topic of research, and I had interviewed some of the HR professionals of the Hyderabad who have been adopting the digitalization process, and they have discussed in the focus group discussion. They have told me that what are the problems and challenges they are facing. Although the organization has got a lot of budget and a lot of plan, but when it comes to the implementation part, the digitalization process will not be.
Have you heard of meta-analysis? Have you heard?
Yes, sir, I have heard. So I have heard.
Even just now today itself, our chief guest has told about meta-analysis.
Yes, sir. Systematic literature review, meta-analysis.
Yes, yes. So meta-analysis you would have applied over here also, not only for the literature review. You can apply this meta-analysis while you are taking interviews, right?
Sure.
While you are asking for. So this can be an outcome of that. Why you have not applied that? So this is because, see, brainstorming and the cross team communication, it will come out with certain things. It is something which looks like arm length type of strategy.
Sir, I just want to add something. Yeah. So while writing the review of literature of this paper, I have used the software called PubMed, and PubMed has helped me to get into the very systematic literature review, on basis of which, but I have not found many literatures because this is the very contemporary topic and very latest topic which is there in the HR field, sir. So for that reason, I have done the interview.
PubMed is not a tool actually.
Is that software gateway to do the systematic?
I know what PubMed is, but anyways, we would have gone for meta-analysis rather than using PubMed as such, particularly for coming on a conclusion. Anyways, but yes, you should have written this somewhere, that what you have used and what was the methodology to conclude certain things, right? So this is an input. You can take it up as such and can improvise further also, but really good work, something different from others.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Pallavi ji. Serial number 16, Miss Sunitha L, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce from Bengaluru, Karnataka.
Is I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, Sunitha, you are audible, and your presentation is also well visible. And this is the shortest time you are there. As soon as the name was taken, you were there, your presentation ready. That's great. Carry on.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, one and all present here. I am Sunitha. I am here to present the topic called Financial Inclusion and Economic Growth in India. It is a complete study on Modi's government initiatives So the main objective of my study is to know about what are the financial initiatives which are given by the government. At the same time, we are going to see what are the progress of that also. So when it comes to financial inclusion, means that the delivery of financial services, it may include banking services, credit facilities, which are affordable for the vast section of disadvantaged and low income groups who tend to exclude it. The main objective of this financial inclusion is to drive economic growth and to manage and save their money and to take proper financial decision. At the same time, this financial inclusion which are given by the government will going to empower the men, women, and the whole communities. So these are the initiatives which are taken by our Modi government. All these programs are initiated by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So phase 1 and phase 2 are the initiative. Pradhana Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, let's see first one. So this Pradhana Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana will going to provide financial services like basic saving account and credit facilities and transfer facilities. So the main feature of this Jan Dhan account is that where they are going to provide 5,000 rupees as a overdraft facilities. So you can see that progress within a shorter period of time. It covered almost all the sector, but so many people opened their new bank accounts in a public sector compared to the RRBs as well as for the private bank. So next program is that Atal Pension Yojana. This is also one of the scheme introduced by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the year 2015. The main aim of this APY is to contribute 50% of the total contribution or 1,000 per annum, whichever is lower one. So they can take the subscription of that and it will valid for the 5 years. The minimum age of joining APY is 18 years and maximum age is 40 years. So this is the programs which are taken by the APY. You can see that urban people are subscribed this Atal Pension Yojana compared to the rural sector, and moreover you can see that more male categories are taken this advantage. So next one is Pradhana Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. So this is government backed life insurance where it will going to provide the death coverage of rupees 2 lakh to the beneficiary of the policy in case of sudden death for an insured person. It has annual premium of rupees 330 rupees excluding the service tax, and 14% of the premium will be given, and it is applicable and for the people who are aged between the 18 to 50 years. In case of death due to any cause, the payment to the nominee will be the 2 lakh amount. The last one is that Pradhana Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. So in order to encourage the insurance penetration in India, they came with this. And here, suppose if you are any persons are dead, it may be based on the natural or accidental one.
Sunita ji, rather than giving the knowledge of these
Yes, sir.
schemes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello. So, hello.
Yeah. How? Yeah. Of course. How this financial inclusion and growth have happened because of these schemes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, and you can even means, and which scheme was more successful? You would have come up with that. But
The
this
first one,
is not
sir.
there in your. I can't see anything like this in your study.
So we can see that more achievements which are taken by Pradhana Mantri Jan Dhan
No, achievements
Yojana.
is okay, because see, once you have started a scheme, definitely there will be achievements.
Yes, sir.
Right. But at the same time, suppose for example, the new thing would be that which scheme is having a better advantage, which is a better advantage is a scheme for the public. That would have come out of the research, then it would be something new which would have contributed towards the society and the nation. So take this as an input that
Okay,
these
sir.
things can be improved in a way, because various schemes you are talking of, so those schemes can be, there can be a comparative analysis of these schemes, okay,
Yes, sir.
which can give you a better picture about what are the unique features which have actually made a scheme more beneficial than other.
Okay, sir.
Right. So that
Okay,
can
sir.
be one of the input which you can take it as such for particularly from this.
Thank you,
Right.
sir.
Thank you, Sunita ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Ravi ji, next participant.
Thank you, Sunita ji.
Thank you, sir.
It was nice presentation. The next presentation is Miss Soumya P. Yes, Soumya ji, please unmute.
Yes, sir.
Soumya P. I think serial number
18.
18, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sir, one second, sir.
Yeah, Soumya ji. We can't see you, but your presentation is visible.
Soumya ji, you can start. Please unmute. Please unmute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. You can start.
Sir, we are from team of 3. So first, start from Tarni, sir.
What do you want?
Sir, we are from team of 3, sir.
I know that. So you are not going to present or some?
Yes, sir. I'm presenting last slide, sir.
Last slide.
Yes, sir. Tarni is going to start the presentation.
So all of the 3 will be presenting, or you are
Yes,
the
sir. Yes,
presenter?
sir. Yes, sir. We are presenting.
So then first who will be the president?
Tarini, sir. Tarini.
Tharini.
Tharini.
Yes, Tharini ji, please unmute. Please unmute.
Soumya ji, I think you all are the students of MBA over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tharini ji is not, yeah, please. Yeah, she has unmuted her. Tharini ji, please, you can start.
Sir, it seems the host is not allowing to unmute.
No, I have allowed her 1,000 times.
Okay, sir. Now
Yeah.
I've got it.
Okay.
Sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
No problem.
So Tharini, you have to be with your video on.
Sir, there is a bandwidth problem. Otherwise, I would
Okay,
have
carry on.
So we are from KCT Business School from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. We are the MBA second year students. So our topic is a study on perception of COVID vaccine among economically weaker section of the society in Coimbatore city. Next slide, please. Introduction. Next slide. Actually, the COVID pandemic has had a lot of impact on all of us, which is related to SARS-CoV-2, which actually originated in Wuhan in China. So for this, the government, with the success of developing vaccine, the government took so many steps to administer the vaccine to the people. But there was an issue, like the acceptance of the vaccinations was carried among the different classes of people and of the society. However, the level of acceptance of the economically weaker sections was less because of various reasons. From the current status of vaccination, it is assumed that once the people are well informed on the vaccination process involved and its importance, then the acceptance rate of the vaccination among the people would be higher, which would enable the government to take suitable measures to reduce the spread of the virus. The objective of our research is that to identify the perception of COVID-19 vaccine among economically weaker section of the society in Kanto region. And also we're focusing on the factors affecting the COVID-19 vaccine acceptance. Next, we have done a literature review of 40 papers, among which we've selected a few. And these are like Mitadil Arani in the year 2022 has said that even the healthcare workers are like saying that there is a 64% acceptancy of the healthcare workers towards vaccination, and 36% of them refuse. And then Mustafizur Rahman in the year 2021 has said that age group and monthly income were the significant determinants of vaccination acceptance and hesitance. The reason for hesitance has always been fear of adverse consequence and insufficient information in Bangladesh. Yosir Al-Quidemet at 2021 has said that 53.1 population actually have those who have received the influenza vaccine previously have accepted to get vaccinated, and more than female participants, male participants were accepting the vaccination, and participants who
Really,
had
we don't have much time, right? So
okay.
yes, yeah, you have now come on the research gap. Carry on.
So far the papers were focused on the gender, based on the specifics like gender, income, but not based on economically weaker section. So we have made that as a research gap, and then we have continued to take it forward. And
So this research gap can be identified even without doing literature survey. Anyways, carry on.
Okay, so I am Rebashi. Next is our researches of descriptive study that describes the characteristic of the population, and it focuses more on what is the research subject than why of the research subject. And the time frame of our study is a cross-sectional study. It's a type of research design in which we collect data from many different individuals at a single point in a time. And our study is from the March to May. It's a 3 months period. We have took only primary data by interview and filled in a Google form based on the questionnaire, and we collected 264 samples, and the main target of our collecting data is from economically weaker section people in and around the Coimbatore city. So we have collected a sample by convincing sampling method located around the Coimbatore location. We have done a statistic analysis method is KMO analysis, chi-square test, multiple logistic regression, Hosmer and Limshaw test, and kite test. Next, we have done the analysis in SPSS software, and this is about based on the 4 variables. We form a questionnaire to collect data in the demographic variables. Is about the dependent basic or a personal details like gender, age, or marital status, and the next perception variable is about importance of taking COVID-19 vaccines, and next knowledge is about why they are consuming vaccine and why someone refused it, whether the vaccine was concerned about the pandemic or not. Next, in analysis, we have found that based on the analysis, it seems most of our respondents are known about the COVID vaccine mostly by television and internet rather than the others. Then in smoking status is 203% respondents were never smoked, and 46 are current smokers, and 15 are the ex-smokers. Next slide. Then best practices to avoid COVID-19 is 162 respondent were saying we have to wear mask daily, and most of the work status of respondent is employed, 87%.
Yes, moving to the findings, we collected 264% samples, and from that 114 from age group 18 and 18 to 15, and 54 from between the ages 26 and 40, and 86 between the age 40 and 60. And findings, we are using KMO and Bartlett's test. Using SPSS software, we get a result of value 0.727, which is more than which is less than 0.727, which is more than 0.5, indicating our sampling, our collected sample was within number. And we gone through that chi-square stage to find the relation between the independent and the association between the independent and the dependent variable. We chosen gender and possible reason as the variable. For null hypothesis, for no significant association, and for alternate hypothesis, that is a significant relation. Our chi-square value states value is 0.00, it's less than 0.5 alpha value. So we conclude that the sample has a significant association between the gender and the people who are refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccine. And Hosmer and Limshaw test show that our p-value is 0.00, show that our model was fit. And Chi test has shown overall, the study found that the majority of the population in different areas from Coimbatore have different perception about his acceptance, hesitancy, and attitude. With that, 30% respondent hesitant because they are afraid of COVID-19 vaccine side effect. and 43.3% accepting the vaccination and help us to COVID-19 from spreading. And wearing a mask is a good practices. They are suggest 49% to avoid or to free from COVID-19. These are the reason for refusal to taking the COVID vaccination. 94% scared about the side effects of vaccine among the economically weaker section people. So we conclude that there are more vaccine has potential from side effect. Can be inferred that 28% of belonging to economically weaker section people are not fully aware of the importance of vaccination, and hence suitable awareness measure can be taken by the local government bodies to enhance the vaccination among all the people. Thank you.
Soumya and Rebashi and Thara, good presentation, but this so heavy test is you have used. It was not required, I suppose. Why have you used logistic regression over here? What was the motive behind using logistic regression?
It's to find the independent factors of vaccine hesitancy. We use that confidence level.
Go to your objective. Yeah. Now you are identifying the perception of COVID-19 vaccine. What type of perception? Acceptance perception, non-acceptance, what type of perception?
Yes, it shows that there are many of the people having different opinion. From that we conclude 28% are
No, fine. Listen. Now COVID-19 vaccine among economically weaker section, and you are concluding that now you have taken the hypothesis that there is no significant difference between the gender, right? And you are concluding that there is a significant difference between the gender. Now you tell me how this particular hypothesis or the thing is related to your objective. And second objective is factors affecting. So where is what are the factors? Have you identified the factors which have affected the acceptance of COVID-19 vaccine? Now here you have used acceptance, and in objective one you have not used acceptance as such. Perception of COVID-19 vaccine, what perception? That's what I was asking you. And had it been this way, you would have just gone for a t-test. That's it. See, logistic regression is not used in the context you have used it. Okay. And secondly, at the same time, you have not properly concluded the other things of logistic regression in your in your conclusion. First of all, even your objectives, your hypothesis, and these things are not matching at all. And the way you have concluded it, it seems that it is not coming out of your research. Now go on your conclusion part. Conclusion.
It's conclusion.
No, yeah, okay. Capture the perception and acceptance level of vaccination among the economically weaker section. So now just go on the previous slide where you have gone with the hypothesis testing. Now see, hypothesis says something else, you're concluding something else. Hypothesis is regarding the gender, and what you are concluding, see over your conclusion. See your conclusion. Now, is it saying something about the gender?
No.
Then where is the relationship? See, only applying big test will not serve the purpose of the research. Okay, please try to understand this. But otherwise, yes, your presentation was better than whatever I have seen till now.
Yes. Thank you.
Good, keep it up and do good work. And pay our best regards to your guide also, right? Who is she?
Dr. Susana.
Yeah, please pay regards from my side and from Raviji's side to her, right? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a really wonderful presentation by three of you.
At least they attempted.
Yeah, at least they are students and they have done wonderful job.
Otherwise, sorry to say, but good professors are even showing the theoretical papers. That is not appreciable.
One thing I want to clarify, Ms. Soumya, that only you are registered in the conference. We have seen our record. So we give presentation certificate to only registered participant. So if
though Raviji has been kind enough to allow all the 3 participants to present over here, but at the same time you have
Rebashi and Karani wants the presentation certificate, then they both have to register in the conference. Otherwise, only you will get the presentation certificates. So you can both can register still also. Okay, thank you so much. So the next presenter is Ms. Dipali Tomar. Dipali ji, please unmute.
Dipali ji, after I think if she is the yes, Dipali ji.
Good evening, sir. Share my screen.
Dipali ji, you might have heard me before also, I suppose, if you are the same Dipali.
So the topic of my presentation is to analyze the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a business including MSMEs. So we all know that there is a revised definition of MSMEs has come up in which the investment criteria has been lifted upwards, and also the turnover criteria has also included just to make it more fair and transparent. So we all know that MSME is a bunch of entrepreneurship, often driven by individuals, and also
what is your objective? Can I see that?
Basically, this paper is just an overview of the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision of the Prime Minister. So it's just an overview of that.
Okay, but you are talking something about the definition of MSMEs.
Yes, yes, sir. So this paper is all about that. What are the measures Modi ji has taken to uplift the MSMEs because we all know that they are badly hit after the COVID-19. So,
can we have you on your video also, Dipali ji? Hope Kota is having a good bandwidth.
Sir, mobile se तो I think नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Oh, the only one thing will go on. Yes. चलिए, कोई बात नहीं. Carry on.
So according to the Prime Minister's vision, there are 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Basically, one is economy, infrastructure, system, vibrant demography and demand. So these are some of the sections for which Modi ji has given 20 lakh crores package, which is equivalent to 10% of India's GDP. And the sections include cottage industry, MSMEs, middle class industries, and all these were included. So these are some of the businesses, including MSME, some of the measures which Modi ji has done to promote the MSMEs. So rupees 3 lakh crores collateral free automatic loans for business including MSMEs is being provided. With this 45 lakh units they have resumed their business activities and safeguard their jobs. Next is rupees 20,000 crores subordinate debt for stressed MSMEs is being provided by Modi ji. And also the promoters of the MSME will be given debt by the banks, which will also benefit them. Next provision is 50,000 crore equity infusion for MSMEs through fund of funds. So basically a fund of funds has been set up for giving the equity to the MSMEs, because we know that COVID-19, due to the COVID-19, MSMEs have a severe shortage of equity. So it is done to make the MSMEs so that they can grow and potentially and more viably, and their size can also increase as well as the capacity. Next is global traders to be disallowed up to 200 crores, because global traders are disallowed so that India can become self-reliant, and our basic motto that vocal for local products can be achieved. And it can also help the MSMEs to increase their businesses and to become the self-reliant. Next is other incentives for MSMEs, like e-market linkage for MSMEs is promoted, and also the fintech, which fintech will be used to enhance the transactions, basically lending for the lending purposes. using the data generated by the e-marketplace. So all these incentives are taken by Pradhan Mantri ji to promoting the MSMEs. Rupees 2,500 crore EPF support for businesses and workers for
please conclude, because I think your conclusion will be more appealable, so that we can understand that what is the final outcome of your analysis regarding the vision of Atma Bharat.
Yeah.
The comparative analysis which you have done is good. Please conclude it.
Yes. So under this package, all these support is being provided for the MSMEs, and some relief to contractors has also been provided. So thank you so much. I'm sorry I haven't done anything in this paper, I know, but
No issues,
it's
just one input. Do not
Yes.
use this emblem in your presentations in future. This is something which is as if you are a representative of Government of India. Don't do it again. Anyways,
okay.
So let's go on the next presentation, Ravi ji.
Thank you. Surekha ji. Yes, serial number 24, Dr. Surekha Vaidya. Yes, Surekha ji, please unmute. Surekha ji, please unmute. I think she is not ready with her presentation. Yes, Dr. Rita Nagpal, serial number 25. Dr. Rita Nagpal, please unmute.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Rita Nagpal from Jal Singh College, Delhi University, and I am here to present the abstract of my article on effects of employee empowerment on organizational efficiency with special reference to manufacturing sector. Although it is important to acquire talented workforce for the long-term sustenance and growth of any business, equally important is to empower the existing employees for higher productivity and profitability of the organization. Along with the long-term commitment and loyalty would come along as an additional bonus. According to the Harvard Business Review, empowered employees can make all the difference. When employees feel empowered at work, it's associated with their improved job performance, job satisfaction, and commitment to the organization. Employee empowerment may prove to be a panacea for various organizational evils if implemented with care. Employee empowerment is giving employees the required authority, the ability, the responsibility, and some degree of autonomy to use the organizational resources and take their work-related decisions on their own. Today, we have smart workers with exorbitant exposure, awareness, adaptability, and mobility. They are very well aware of their rights and responsibilities as employees. So they bank upon empowerment for their better performance and career development. Moreover, the employees also need the empowered employees. The employers as well, they need the empowered employees for higher profitability and growth of their organizations. The employers who are committed to the look forward to empowerment as one of the most strategic ways to attract, motivate, and retain the key human resources critical for the success of their organizations. By encouraging newness and variety in employee empowerment practices, any organization can allure a wider range of potential audiences, those perhaps have not previously considered that kind of a career option. Investing in employee empowerment.
Dr. Rita, you're not audible. The bandwidth is
One
very
second,
low.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, one second.
Dr. Rita, have you done any analysis or any work which is quantitative, which can be concluded as an evidences?
I will take it up because the time was a little limited. So I will take it up in the before submitting the article.
Yeah, because the title is very good, Effect of Employee Empowerment on Organizational Efficiency. So what I can suppose is there may be some parameters of employee empowerment, some parameters of organizational efficiency, right? And you can see a impact and effect of one on other, I suppose, right? So that is one. Fine, then thank you, ma'am.
My video is off by the host somehow.
No, actually,
I'm not able to.
There is a network
switch on the
problem
camera.
from your side. That's why I have done.
All right.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Shall I continue further?
Ma'am, it will again be a problem because we are not able to properly hear you. And I have already given you one input regarding how you can proceed further with your work.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, because title seems very good. But yes, as you have agreed that there is more work to be done. So we hope that a good paper will come out of this. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank
you, Dr. Ritaji. Thank you. The next presenter is at serial number 26, Joji Babu Tamandru. Yes, Joji ji, please unmute.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. You can start. You can off your video because again there is a network issue from your side.
Is my video clear?
We can hear you. No problem. You can start.
But it is written that there is some network issue, so you can off your video and present your slides.
Okay. Slight problem with my sharing.
You can continue with oral presentation.
Okay. Yeah, my presentation is actually on effects of the towards the job satisfaction. The role of So the role of teachers plays a vital role in the development of our nation. But as all other professions, the teaching fraternity is also facing many professional challenges and stagnation in their career. So therefore, to attract and retain the quality of teachers is a great challenge to our education institutions. So therefore, my problem statement is that in education institutions, teachers are the key players who ensure achievement of goals and objectives of the organization. So it is a known fact that the efficiency and effectiveness of education institutions are not possible without involving any teachers. So my scope of personal professional development and job security of job security towards the job satisfaction among the CBSE school teachers. I have taken the hypothesis that I have made is that there is no significant difference in the jobs.
Sir, I think some network issue from. Can we consider it as presentation?
Yeah, please. Because again, there is.
Babuji, we have considered your presentation. You can send your PPT on our mail ID. Okay, so no problem. The next presentation.
I will send it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joji Babu. This next presenter is at serial number 28, Mr. Parveezullah. Yes, Mr. Parveezullah, please unmute.
Yeah, can I proceed, sir?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on, please.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This is Mr. Parvez, Assistant Professor, Vivekananda College, Bangalore, and my co-authors are Mrs. Panjula and Mrs. Soumya, assistant professors of belong to the same college. And the topic of my research study is effectiveness of forensic accounting in the banking sector, the accounting professionals' perception. And this is my flow of presentation: introduction, literature review, statement of problem, objective, research methodology, research hypothesis, research analysis, findings, and conclusion.
So let us go directly on your objectives part.
Yeah. So these are my objectives. The main objective is to study the process of forensic accounting investigation in banking sector. But my main focus on the second objective, to measure the level of effectiveness of the forensic accounting with the insight from the accounting professionals in the banking sector. So my research methodology is quantitative and descriptive in nature. Both primary and secondary research is adopted. In the primary research, data is collected from the set of accounting professionals belonging to the banking sector through the telephonic conversation and the medium of questionnaire. And 8 questions have been presented to the 32 respondents, out of which 28 have been replied that methodically analyzed. In this research, the statistical tool like t-test is used. So t-test is used because the population is unknown and the sample size is less than 30. The sample structure criteria is like this. Location of the bank is Bangalore. The types of the banks used in the analysis are commercial banks and the nationalized banks. The designation of respondents are branch managers, deputy managers, and other professionals who are using the forensic accounting. And it is done through the electronic questionnaire and telephonic conversation. The sample size is 28 respondents. And research is based on the research hypothesis. I have taken 2 hypotheses. Hypothesis 1, where I focused on just to know the number of scams victims before and after the installation of forensic accounting in the banking sector. So and the second hypothesis is I wanted to know the number of financial disputes solved before and after installation of forensic accounting. So in the hypothesis 1, the null hypothesis is taken as there is no significant difference between number of scam victims before and after installation of forensic accounting system. And the alternative hypothesis is taken as there is a significant difference between number of scam victims before and after installation of forensic accounting. So this is my findings and analysis. The significant level here I have taken is 5%. This is the analysis and findings for hypothesis 1. So this analysis I done through the Excel. So
okay,
as per the t-test,
Mr. Parvez.
Yeah, yes.
Parvez, please tell me that what type of t-test you have used over here? Which t-test?
Sorry, sir.
Parvez, there are 3 types of t-test. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
So which test you have used over here?
It's the first type of t-test, sir.
First type means which type? Which type?
Yes.
What? First type is independent sample t-test, paired sample
independent.
t-test.
Sorry, yeah, independent.
Independent sample t-test cannot be used over here. Number 1.
Yes.
You have to use because you are going for pre and post effect.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I would say whether better t-test will never be used.
Okay.
Cannot be used anyways, but you have used it, and even if you have used it, then it would have the paired sample t-test would have been better. Anyways, so conclude your findings.
Yeah. So in my findings, I found that so here statistical calculated value is it's more than the t-test critical value. So null hypothesis is rejected here and alternative hypothesis is accepted with the conclusion that after installation of forensic accounting system in the financial in the banking system, the financial disputes were solved. And I'll move on to the conclusion. The research reveals that the scam victims were reduced in the banking sector after the installation of forensic accounting, and it also reveals that more financial disputes in the banking sector after the installation of forensic accounting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Mr. Pravees. The next presenter is at serial number 29, Pratibha Kaswan. Yes, Pratibha ji, please unmute. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pratibha Kaswan. I'm from Research Scholar, University of
Pratibha, we can't see your video, neither your presentation.
Hello. Sir, connect.
Yes, your video, your presentation is visible. You can start.
My topic is green banking, a progressive pattern in Indian banking sector.
Can we go on directly on your objectives, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
Please do that.
To study green banking concept adopted by various banks to identify the forms of green banking used by banking sector of making environment green and working way healthy, to recognize the benefits of green banking products adopting by banks in India. And research methodology. This paper is based on qualitative research and methodology based on literature work, secondary data. The paper occurred in 2 secondary data, many published paper by journals on green banking and history of development in banking sector related to green banking concept. And the second data collection about Indian banks through published source. And hypothesis between green banking products and Indian banking sector. There is no significant relationship between green banking products and Indian banking sector. Here is some methods of green banking. Coverage includes sustainable banking, ethical banking, green mortgage, green loan, green credit card, green saving account.
Hold on. How
Yes,
have
sir.
you tested your hypothesis? Would like to see that. First of all, your hypothesis is wrong.
Okay,
So
sir.
many slides you have prepared. Where is the testing of hypothesis?
There's some slide are missing.
Yeah. No, see, read your hypothesis. Read your hypothesis.
There is significant relationship between green banking products and Indian banking sector. Sir,
It is a
adoption-
qualitative analysis or quantitative analysis, first of all.
Sir, qualitative.
Qualitative analysis do not have hypothesis, first of all.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Okay. So hypothesis requirement is not there if you are studying something which is qualitative. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because hypotheses are subject to be tested,
Yes.
right? So this hypothesis is not correct. What is your conclusion? Come on, your conclusion.
Banking sector is very important part of the economy which faces many environment risks. The bank cannot hold its own for a long time in the financial sector, having environmental side effects. Banking products promote awareness among customers and encourage them to take care of environment. So the appearance of
Hold on.
Yes,
So
sir.
you tell in your own words what have you learned out of this paper?
सर इसमें जो ग्रीन बैंकिंग एक कॉन्सेप्ट है उसको लेकर जो बैंक्स ने ग्रीन प्रोडक्ट अडॉप्ट किए हैं वो उसके लिए कितने प्रोग्रेसिव है और कितने उनको फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं उनकी सर्विस।
आप बताइए कितने प्रोग्रेसिव है रिसर्च पेपर
सर
आपने
काफी
लिखा?
प्रोग्रेसिव है जैसे डिजिटल
काफी कितने? 1 किलो 2 किलो प्रोग्रेसिव, 5 किलो प्रोग्रेसिव, कितने प्रोग्रेसिव? नहीं, आप मेरे को लगता है आपको हिंट मिल गया कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए पेपर में।
जी
क्वांटिटेटिव काम कीजिए और आप क्वालिटेटिव काम करके क्वांटिटेटिव कंक्लूजन निकाल रहे हो, इसलिए मैंने आपसे क्वांटिटेटिव पूछा। चलिए, एनीवेज, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू फॉर सजेशन।
रवि जी, Can we have next participant?
Yes, sir. Yes, Preeti Kumari, serial number 33. Please unmute. Preeti Kumari, assistant professor from Darbhanga, Bihar. Yes, Preeti ji.
Sir, you are having pan-India presence in every conference I can see. Pan-India presence. Not even a single state might have left out who have from where you have not received a participation. That's really great.
And one thing I want to clarify to all the participant presenters that Manvinder sir is giving only inputs to you. It is your, you all are lucky that, so don't be afraid.
Afraid means what? I'm not making them afraid over here.
So, Preeti Kumari ji, please. Okay, I think she's not ready with
impact of GST on hotel industry.
Yeah. Serial number 36, Sandeepti Robert. Sandeepti ji, please unmute. Yeah, please unmute. Please unmute. Yeah, you can start.
I'm sharing this.
More paper from South India, and they have done a good work rather.
Yes,
or
sir.
Attempted at least. See the MBA students, they have also presented. Excellent. Really good.
Good evening, everybody. My study is done on the foreign direct investment has a significant growth in computer software and hardware sector. Sir, I'll come to the objectives, sir.
Yeah, that would be great.
Here, I was studied the trends of FDI inflows in Indian software, computer software and hardware sector, and as well as growth of FDI inflows. For this study, I have used the tools of regression analysis. For trend analysis, I have used bivariate regression model, that is FDI-T alpha plus beta time in years. And then I used for growth, that is CAGR and semi-log model for mathematics, for growth analysis. Here, when we see that analysis, the growth is not in one path, sir. It may up and downs as there and the growth. That's why I take the log regression for the analysis. For log is used to the trends of not in linear. The trends will be a change in higher and lower level. That's why we may use that log model. We can use the log model for the growth analysis. And then my analysis for the trend here, when we see the statistics, the probability value, p-value is less than 0.05. That is the trend is a significant, that is a positive trend. And when we see that statistics, that is that is also less than 0.05. And when we see that R square value, that is 55.89%. That means the trend is upward trend. When we see that growth statistics, here the growth is in positive growth, and the significance also less than 0.05. Statistically significant growth. My hypothesis is also based on that objective, sir. Shall I go to the hypothesis, sir?
No need. It's good. Carry on.
Growth also.
Conclude.
Yes, sir,
Now
yes,
you
sir,
can
yes,
come to the conclusion that what you have got out of it.
I have concluded that the trend is an upward positive trend, and growth is a significant growth in computer software and hardware sector. It is when we see the FDI inflows from 2010-11 to 2021, the computer software hardware sector is in the top position. That means that is 16.03% of total FDI equity inflows in the India, sir. That I have concluded in this paper, sir.
Okay, fine.
Thank
Sandeep,
you.
good work. But now see, Does foreign direct investment growth is significant? Okay, fine. If you have got it significant, then what? And if it is not significant, then what? You have actually worked more on numbers rather than
Yes, sir.
the motive behind the research. Right? Search out some good motive behind the research and you can improvise it. A good work, I would say. Thank you.
Sir, I need to ask one input from you, sir.
Yeah, please carry on.
Actually, I am doing research on foreign direct investments impact on industrial growth, sir. I am doing firm level analysis on that.
Okay, you want me to just tell you that what can be done in that? See, you have done a regression analysis, right?
Yes, sir.
You can predict certain things and model the growth in that way that that the dependent and independent variables which you are taking, to what extent they are related. You're getting my point? And then some conclusion can come out of it, which would be helpful for the researchers, which would be helpful for the investors rather, because FDI drives our manufacturing sector, because it's a foreign direct investment, and FIIs actually they drive our market, stock market. Are you getting my point? So where Modi ji is behind, our PM Modi ji, is behind the manufacturing, make in India, made in India.
Make in India.
In that way, your research can be of use over there if you are able to conclude it in that way. Right, Sandeepti ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have done the papers on that manufacturing sectors also, sir. That is automobile sector.
Even you can do it sector-wise. You can do the sector-wise study and something good can come out of it.
Yes, sir. I have done and the sector-wise study, sir. But
excellent.
Thank you so much. The next presenter is at serial number 40, Sonam Bhatija ji. Yes, Sonam ji, please unmute.
40, sir.
Yes, sir. Direct 40.
Okay. ये बीच वाले किधर गए सर?
बीच वाले सब PPT भेजेंगे सर, I think. Okay. Yes, Sonam ji, please. You can unmute. You can start your presentation. And if somebody is left for presentation, if I missed any serial number,
सर एक वो पहले मैडम थी वो उनका क्या हुआ?
They can write in the chat. Ahuja ji, I don't.
डॉक्टर आहूजा ने एक वो मैसेज भी लिखा था, ये देखिए इतना बड़ा लिखा हुआ है.
नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम, I think.
उनको पूछ लीजिए अगर वो करना चाहें तो.
कोमल आहूजा.
ये सर सीरियल नंबर 5.
Okay, sir. After this, I will call it.
Yes,
this is serial number 40, Sonam Bhatija. This is a scholar from Punjabi University, Patiala. Yeah.
My screen show to you or not?
That's visible. It was visible. Yes, now it's visible. Sonam ji, please continue.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sonam Bhatija and I am from Punjabi University, Patiala. And I have written a research paper on systematic review on performance of gems and jewelry sector in India, a study of PSC listed companies. So I'll start with the introduction. Gems and jewelry sector in India comprises of manufacturing, selling, sourcing, processing, and exporting of gold. As we all know, we all wear some sort of jewelry, whether it's ornaments or whether to gift anyone or to please ourselves. But nobody see it as a sector as a whole. If we ask any of the researchers, so nobody is really interested in this sector. Everyone likes jewelry, but no one has known about the fact that how this sector is contributing to Indian economy. So that's why I have chosen this sector so that we can, all the researchers, we can contribute our research work on this topic, and so that this sector also boosts in the economy. So I would like to tell you about the contribution made by this sector. Gems and jewelry sector contributes around 7.5 to GDP and 14% to Indians' total merchandise export. And India is exporting 95% of world's diamonds. So this sector is basically contributing to Make in India initiative because we have in India we have cheap labor, and we can manufacture the jewelry, the diamond products at very cheap rate, and because labor is very cheap. So this is also contributing to our manufacturing sector, and thus it is contributing to Make in India initiative. And it is one of the fastest growing sector and has the potential to contribute more to India's GDP if it is taken care of. So in my research paper, what is my objective? My objective is to review the related research papers, which includes the performance of gems and jewelry sector, EVA and MBA analysis, and STEL analysis. EVA means economic value added, MBA market value added, and STEL analysis means solvency, profitability, efficiency, and liquidity, basically ratio analysis. So what is EVA and MBA analysis? Economic value added and market value added both are accounting measures of calculating companies' performance. As we all know, we all calculate the financial performance. Financial performance with the help of STEL analysis.
Poonamji,
Yes,
have
sir?
you done any? What? Let us see your conclusion.
Okay, sir. So basically, I've reviewed 31 papers, 35 papers. Out of that, 31 are the journal papers and 4 are thesis papers. And I'll break up the literature on the basis of performance of gems and jewelry sector in India. And second is
Got it. That I can see. Let us see how you have concluded it. That would be a great learning for all of us.
So first one, I have studied literature on gems and jewelry sector, and that reveals the performance of gems and jewelry sector in terms of exports, imports, how it is contributing to GDP, how it is generating the employment, and what is the contribution to the Indian economy. And various other studies which was related to STEL analysis that discuss the relationship between all these 4 variables, that is solvency, profitability, efficiency, and liquidity of my selected jewelry companies, and that will help us provide the appropriate dependent and independent variables for future study in this direction. And lastly, my studies related to EVA and MBA. That is telling all the researchers that EVA and MBA also are the accounting measures, and they prove to be a very significant measure for analyzing a company's performance. So whenever
how can you say it is significant?
So I am saying by studying the review of literature, some of the studies have proved that these are
Better you say it is important, not significant, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Whenever you say significant, it actually raises the question whether you have tested the significance or not, or what. It actually comes on this statistics, right? Anyways, yeah, thank you. Thanks for your presentation.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Nice presentation, ma'am. Thank you so much. The next presenter is at serial number 41, Dr. Dipali Jain, Associate Professor, Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar College, University of Delhi. Yes, please, Dipali.
Good evening to all of you. Are you able to hear?
Yes, we are able to hear you and see you also in your presentation. Continue.
Good evening to all of you. My topic is Basel Revisited. Now, the objective of the study is to study need and determination of capital adequacy ratio. And I have explained with an example of 3 banks with a different capital base, deposit, loan advances, income and expenses. And also compare the provisions of Basel 1, Basel 2 and Basel 3. Next, this research methodology I have used, that is the secondary data I have used, and secondary data of the 3 banks. They have refused to quote the name of the bank, so therefore I am not quoting the name, I am taking the ABC. So, but they have a different base, loan, deposits, advances and income. Now, this paper has divided into 3 sections. First section emphasizes the provision of Basel 1 and Basel 2 and determine why there is need for the determination of the capital adequacy ratio. Second focuses on the objective of Basel 3 because the and the main theme of the Basel 3, that is the 2 standard leverage coverage ratio and net stable funding ratio. Now it includes also the comparison of Basel 1, 2 and 3. Now the capital adequacy ratio capital adequacy ratio, total capital divided by risk-weighted asset. Now, risk-weighted asset means the book value of an asset multiplied by the percentage of the weight allotted. Now, there are the different type of the weights that is allotted to the value of the assets. In India, CR should be greater than equal to 9%. And as per the RBI, it should be the 8%. Now, there are two elements of the tier 1. There are two type of the capital. One is the tier 1, another one is the tier 2. Yes, sir. That is now I have taken the, I'm directly coming to the what I have done, that I have taken the 3 banks, and this is the normal situation, and they have a different deposits, that is the 100 crores, 75 and 50 crores, and the amount available to loan, that is 75. They have a good CRAR, so that is 20%, 10%, 12%, and they have given the loan, that is the 75, 55 and 35 crore. The position is very good. They are getting the interest income from the depositors. This is the first situation. Now, they have given the loan, and now it is very important that the bank is the limited liability company, and if there is any loss, there is a loss of the depositor. So there is a limited liability company, that is they are limited to the owner's capital. Now, this is the second situation. You can see that this is the second situation that I have explained. That is the tier 1, they have a tier capital, deposits are there. Now, amount they have given the, but after getting the income, they have a different expenses like as the salary, infrastructure, and they have deducted. Now, see here, the C bank is also getting the, is the loss, but B bank is earning a income. But now see here, in the second, after earning the income, his capital adequacy rate is only the 8%. Here is the 3.65%. And here, tier 1 capital 2.75 and 6.15. Now, there is the loss of the income because during the pandemic period, or you can take any regression period, that depositors, that is the those who had taken the loan, they are unable to pay the interest. So the bank is not able to pay the depositors interest amount, so there will be a loss. Now, why we will calculate in bank C after the loss of the interest 0.85 पर 3.65 होगा. अगर 9% हमें maintain करना as per RBI, so the bank should maintain the 2.09 crore. Now this 2.09 crore should be the owner's capital. Now again the Basel, in the Basel 3, they have distributed the components of the tier 1. You can see that the tier 1, paid up capital, statutory reserves, other disclosed, perpetual non-cumulative preference shares, innovative perpetual. If there is any loss, because जो हम total CRAR निकाल रहे हैं वो total capital करके निकाल रहे हैं, अगर हमारा undisclosed reserves, revaluation, अगर कुछ भी loss होता है, then it is the loss of the other disclosed free reserves का होगा. तो जो भी हमारा loss हो रहा है, that the loss of the owners का. This is the, so it is important that 2.0 should be the core capital, owner's capital होना चाहिए. That is the same way. Similarly, bank should maintain the 2.58 crore for 9% because it is maintaining only the 8% as per the that is the Basel, but in India it is the 9%. So I have calculated this ratio, why it is important that the core capital. And again, because implementation of Basel 3, should be implemented in March 2019, but it was pushed back to March 2020. And again, they have pushed back, that is, it should be implemented on January 2023. Now, focus on capital adequacy ratio. Again, they are focusing on the capital adequacy ratio, improve the banking sectors. Now, see here, what they have done, they have also realized the authorities or the RBI that they have made other 2 buffers, that is the capital conservation buffers, and that is another one is the, you can see here that they have distributed the tier 1. Now they have distributed in the Basel 3, distributed the tier 1 capital into 2 parts. One is the common equity and another one is additional tier 1 capital. Now common equity, again they are including, there are some accumulated other comprehensive income qualifying, जो अगर हम Basel 4 पढ़ते हैं, अगर that will be implemented in the maybe implemented in 2025, again they are talking of the earning per share, and they are also talking about the leverage, and the leverage means कि owners को फायदा होता है जब debts होते हैं. So that is therefore here they are again forcing the RBI also, and RBI have also distributed the Tier 1 into two parts, common equity.
Conclude now, please conclude because lot of calculations. See,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That way I have calculated. Now the conclusion is that study indicates that the capital adequacy should be positive and highly significant, highly important. Second things, the suggestion has been given that first one, disclosure practice should be there, and they should follow the accounting standard. That is the accounting policy. That is very important क्योंकि banks जो है RBI guidelines को follow up करता रहा है. Institute of Chartered Accountant of India का जो हमारे mandatory accounting standards है उन पर apply नहीं हो. Auditors का main role होना चाहिए, influential role. Auditors को core capital देखना चाहिए जिससे हमारे depositors का money save रहे, and they have to verify the all regulatory measures, and the risk management should be different types of risk, business cycle, interest rate, foreign exchange should be included. And next one is they can use the artificial intelligence about this supervise the financial transaction, and they have to develop the human resource practice so that they rotate the public sector banks. So significant leverage ratio, diversity for portfolio should be maintained. So this is the conclusion why we are keeping the capital adequacy ratio, and that is the that I have done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Dipali Jain, good. But see, you have taken only 3 banks, right?
Yes, sir.
What I can make out is that these 3 banks may be of different types. This is one of my perception. Maybe there may be a difference between the private, public, or foreign bank, something like that. Please see if it is there, then you can even take some more banks, and then your conclusion will be more strong.
Yes,
you can apply some statistical tests also.
Yes,
that I think will give you better. But yes, a good paper. Thank you, and congratulations. Best wishes,
Thank you very much for suggestion, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, Raviji.
Wonderful presentation by Dr. Dipali Jain, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir.
The next presenter is Dehuti Banchor. Yeah, Dehuti ji, please unmute.
Yes, sir. गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. मैं श्रीमती देहती बंचोर, सुधार्थी, कल्याण कॉलेज, महाविद्यालय 7 भिलाई. मेरा टॉपिक है कुपोषण के स्तर में कमी लाने में महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग के योगदान का अध्ययन. मैं परिचय देना चाहूंगी. कुपोषण के स्तर में कमी लाने के उद्देश्य से वर्ष 2018 से पोषण अभियान का संचालन छत्तीसगढ़ के सभी जिलों में किया जा रहा है. पोषण अभियान का जो मुख्य उद्देश्य है बच्चों में व्याप्त बौनापन, अल्प पोषण, एनीमिया में कमी लाना तथा किशोरी बालिकाओं, गर्भवती महिलाओं, शिशुवती महिलाओं में व्याप्त एनीमिया में कमी लाना है. इस अभियान के अंतर्गत जीवन चक्र पद्धति पर विशेष ध्यान देते हुए सर्वांगीण जो प्रयासों के माध्यम से पोषण संबंधी सभी सूचकांकों में सुधार लाने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है. इस सूचकांक में सुधार लाने हेतु अंतरराष्ट्रीय मुद्दे जो है स्वास्थ्य संबंधी सेवाएं, कृषि उद्यमिकी के माध्यम से पौष्टिक आहार की उपलब्धता, सुरक्षित पेयजल, शौचालयों की उपलब्धता, आर्थिक उन्नयन, बालिकाओं का सशक्तिकरण इत्यादि मुद्दों पर समन्वित कार्य किया जा रहा है. मैं अध्ययन का उद्देश्य बताना चाहूंगी कि छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य के दुर्ग शहर में गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं की पोषण की स्थिति का पता लगाना. मेरे अध्ययन का उद्देश्य है कि कुपोषण के स्तर में कमी लाने में महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग की गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं के लिए संचालित योजनाओं का जो योगदान है उसका अध्ययन करना. परिकल्पना है, मेरे अध्ययन का परिकल्पना है कि महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग की योजनाओं से गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं में कुपोषण के स्तर में कमी आई है। गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाएं अपने पोषण और स्वास्थ्य के प्रति जागरूक हुई हैं। प्रविधि है, प्रस्तुत शोध अध्ययन के कार्य संपादन के लिए महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग द्वारा प्राप्त द्वितीयक आंकड़ों का प्रयोग किया गया है, जो विभाग द्वारा प्रकाशित पत्र पत्रिकाओं, समाचार पत्रों के माध्यम से एकत्रित किया गया है तथा प्रस्तुत शोध कार्य में प्राथमिक आंकड़ों का भी प्रयोग किया गया है, जो दुर्ग जिले के महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग द्वारा संचालित 10 आंगनबाड़ी केंद्रों के माध्यम से 50 गर्भवती महिला एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं से प्रश्नावली के माध्यम से आंकड़े एकत्रित किया गया है। प्रश्नावली को साक्षात्कार के माध्यम से पूछा गया एवं भरा गया।
देवती जी इसका कंक्लूजन बताइए, क्या आपका क्या कंक्लूजन क्या रहा है इसका?
जी सर निष्कर्ष मैं बताना चाहूंगी जी। उपयुक्त विषय के संपूर्ण अध्ययन तथा विश्लेषण से हम इस बात पर इस निष्कर्ष पर पहुंचते हैं कि महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग की विभिन्न योजनाओं एवं कार्यक्रमों में खासकर गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं के लिए संचालित योजनाओं एवं कार्यक्रमों तथा स्वास्थ्य परीक्षण, जागरूकता शिविर आदि के माध्यम से जिले की गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं के लिए स्वास्थ्य, पोषण एवं देखरेख, चिकित्सा सुविधा इत्यादि पर पर्याप्त ध्यान दिया गया है तथा समय समय पर विभाग ने अपने संपर्क सूत्रों के माध्यम से जैसे आंगनबाड़ी, मितानिन, आंगनबाड़ी कार्यकर्ता, स्वास्थ्य कार्यकर्ता के माध्यम से जागरूकता शिविर लगाकर स्वास्थ्य परीक्षण कार्यक्रमों एवं अन्य प्रचार प्रसार के माध्यम से गर्भवती एवं शिशुवती महिलाओं को जागरूक, सजग एवं लाभ के लिए लगातार प्रेरित किया गया है, जिससे उनके एवं बच्चे के स्वास्थ्य में धनात्मक परिवर्तन आया है।
अब इसके आधार पर मुझे बताइए कि आप इनको क्या सुझाव देंगी, सरकार को या फिर शिशु कल्याण विभाग को, महिला एवं शिशु कल्याण विभाग को क्या सुझाव देंगी आप इस शोध पत्र के माध्यम से? आप बताइए मुझे।
जी सर, महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग को मैं ये सुझाव देना चाहूंगी सर कि जो योजनाएं वो क्रियान्वित कर रहे हैं, योजनाएं तो बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन कहीं कहीं पे वैसे तो महिलाएं आजकल बहुत जागरूक हैं, उनका जो संपर्क सूत्र है आंगनबाड़ी मितानिन, आंगनबाड़ी कार्यकर्ता, स्वास्थ्य कार्यकर्ता, वो समय समय पे ग्रामीण क्षेत्र हो या शहरी क्षेत्र हो, जागरूकता के माध्यम से जो है जरूरतमंद या पात्र जो महिलाएं हैं उनको सजग तो कर रही है, फिर भी कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ कमी आ रही है और जो है जानकारी के अभाव में जितने मतलब पात्र जो महिलाएं हैं जिनको लाभ मिलना चाहिए उनको नहीं मिल पा रहा है। तो इसीलिए सर मेरा ये सुझाव रहेगा कि जो है अपना प्रचार प्रसार जो है वो अपनी जो जागरूकता शिविर जो है वो महीने में जैसे अगर वो 1 बार या 2 बार शिविर लगा रहे हैं तो ये साप्ताहिक शिविर लगना चाहिए सर, और बिल्कुल जो जरूरतमंद जो महिलाएं हैं उनको हर एक योजनाओं का लाभ मिलना चाहिए।
और आपने तो बताया वो लोग पूरी तरह जागरूक हैं।
जी सर, जागरूक तो हैं, लेकिन कहीं पे ऐसा मैं प्रश्नावली के माध्यम से जब मैं पूछी तो बहुतों ने ये भी मेरे को जवाब दिया कि कभी कभी पता नहीं चल पाता करके हम नहीं ले पाते, ऐसे भी उन्होंने बताया है। जी
ठीक, ओके, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका,
बहुत ही अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन, वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन।
जी थैंक यू सर,
थैंक यू सो मच। यस सिमरन जी, you can try again, please unmute.
Sir, which serial number?
Actually, I don't know because there are 2 Simran, but she has not written the surname.
Sir, I know one Simran.
Either she is Simran Agarwal or Simran Preet Kaur.
If there is no surname, I only know one Simran.
वो तो सबको पता है सर उसके।
हाँ बस वही है।
Okay, I think she has some connectivity issue. She is out. Okay. So if there is someone is left for presentation, they can still write in the chat box their serial number, because we have.
I still say, sir, Dr. Komal Ahuja was very keen to present at that time, and
but she is not written in the chat.
Yeah,
she is not written in the chat box.
Okay. So one more candidate has written in the chat box. Prasanta Mujrai.
Yeah, his name is not listed as such.
Actually, his name is in the tomorrow's list.
Okay.
Tomorrow's present
Okay, okay. So you have informed the participant about.
Yeah. Because we have already sent the acceptance letter.
Okay.
It is mentioned, the date is
The
mentioned.
date is mentioned there.
Now see, Dr. Komal has written at 6:32 p.m.
Okay, sir, I will invite again. Yes, Dr. Komal, please unmute.
Serial number 5, yes.
Serial number 5, if you want to present, you can present, still present.
Dr. Komal, are you there?
Yeah, she's in the list, but she is not unmuting. Dr. Komal, please unmute. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So, are you ready?
Sir, I am ready with my presentation. But the thing is, if I am turning on my in between, it is getting disconnected. If you can please allot me session in tomorrow's session.
Ma'am, tomorrow's session already we have 62 presenters. 62.
Sir, I will be taking only 4 minutes for my presentation.
You can present now. It's
You
okay.
can present now.
Do it. Yeah.
It is not possible, ma'am. 62 presenters. So around 50 presenters are ready. Or either you can send your PPT on our mail ID, or you can present now. No problem. There is no problem. We are here for you. You can present easily. Your voice is coming very good. Sir, she is not interested.
The topic is also very good. Social responsibility.
She is not interested. I think
not
she
interested. Fine.
She has muted herself.
Anyways.
So anything left? Anything we want to present?
I hope we can conclude, sir.
Yeah, we have concluded, sir. And thank you so much, all the participants, for presenting the papers in very beautiful and professional manner. And those who did not present their papers due to some technical issues, they can send their PPTs on our mail ID so that we can consider it as presentation. And now I would like to invite Dr. Pasture Argulas, the chairperson of today's technical session, for the chairperson's remarks. Dr. Dean Pasture. Okay. Professor Manvinder Singh Pava, sir, the additional chairpersons of today's technical session. Yes, sir.
Yes, so very good evening all. I will not take much time. So there were about, I think so, 20 presentations happened out of this 44 present.
23, 24 presentations.
Yeah. So it was an excellent platform for everyone to, present and take the opportunity to get more reviews about their own papers. But one thing I have observed, that most of the papers presented, they could have presented in a better way. They could have applied some quantitative analysis in order to come up with their conclusions. And one more observation I have seen, that even the qualitative hypothesis were there is no hypothesis when we are using anything qualitative as such. And further, when it is to be, it can be, when it can be quantified, it can be quantified. And more emphasis would have given on in-depth research rather than just superficially has been taken up and we are presenting here. So a lot of work requires to be done in order to enhance the quality of the presentation, not only the presentation, the quality of the paper also. So that is one side. Another is that most of the students have written their names of their guides also, but I don't think any guidance has been taken, because such good professors are there and presentation has been made. But it would be great if some guidance can be taken. Or even one more thing, Raviji, means we can facilitate some of the discussions prior to the conference also, so that some groups can be formed which can interchange their ideas, so that some good conclusions can be there. Means prior to the presentation they can improve. We can give them this opportunity if possible. I don't know the possibility, but if possible, this can be one of the good input we can do. And this will be something innovative out of our conferences, which we have been doing till date, because I've been a part of a lot of conferences, but this is something which has come in my mind. I thought I should share with you. So this is another part of it. Anyways, thank you. Thanks to everyone for presenting, and thanks Raviji for this opportunity. Yes, I was a little bit, maybe harsh to someone, but you have really and correctly said that these all are inputs in order to improve ourselves. So we have to come out of our comfort zone in order to improvise, and sometimes some things like, some words may impact someone so that they can do a good work.
Thank you,
so
sir.
This is what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And your inputs are really, really valuable for all of us. So thank you so much, Professor Pahwa, sir, for chairing the session very wonderfully.
Yeah, it took a lot of time, but
sir, I am thinking about tomorrow's session actually. There are 62.
I'm thinking I'm saved.
64. Okay. So before inviting our Joint Secretary and Principal, Bhavans College, Dr. Aarti ma'am, I would like to request all of you to please start your videos so that we can take some screenshots also. Actually, we will post to the social media also, the Inspira page, YouTube channel. So your presence is very necessary. So please on your videos. So now I would like to invite Dr. Aarti Chopra, Joint Secretary, Inspira Research Association, for delivering vote of thanks on behalf of organizers of the conference. Dr. Aarti Chopra, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. A very good evening once again. I hope my audio and video are clear, because we don't have electricity at home, so we are running on this inverter.
But it is getting very good.
Okay, sir.
And you are so charming that you are actually electrifying everyone, not only at your home, but everyone over here.
Thank you so much, sir. That makes me feel even more happy. Thank you. A very good evening to each one of you once again. I take privilege and pride to propose the vote of thanks at the end of the first day of the International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research and Innovations in Finance and Strategic Management, Business Economics, Education, Humanities and Social Sciences, being jointly organized by Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, Bihar, along with Inspira Research Association-IRA, Jaipur. Winston Churchill said that to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. We know that change is the only constant. Businesses have to choose the strategy which has the best chance of winning, which is not possible without a proper innovation strategy. Only innovation in all the fields can orient the business for speed in order to secure the competitive advantage in this competitive world. This conference is a great effort to bring out the think tanks, the galaxy of academicians and researchers on one platform for the useful deliberations. At the outset, I wish to show our indebtedness towards our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, former Vice Chancellor, Sri Sri University, Cuttack, Odisha, and Professor, Head and Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, Delhi. I would like to mention Professor S.S. Modi, President, Inspira Research Association, and former Professor, Department of ABST, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, and Professor Rajiv Ranjan, Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, for their productive opening remarks and give a good start to the day. I would like to mention my deep sense of gratitude towards our patron, Professor Rana Singh Sir, Director, Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, for his eye-opening dialogue on the theme of the conference. His profound knowledge and excellent delivery of speech always leave us spellbound. Professor Rana Singh, as we all know, is a wonderful speaker. I would especially like to thank our esteemed chairperson, Sir Pester Argulis, Philippines, to enlighten us with his practical analysis, opinion, and presentation in such an effective and lucid manner. I would like to show my deepest sense of gratitude towards our additional chairperson, Professor Manvinder Singh Pava sir, Assam Kaziranga University, Assam, for his impressive demonstration of emerging ideas and sharing his valuable insights. Sir, I can understand that how difficult it is to listen to each and every paper, and not only listening, but analyzing it and giving the feedback, that is the constructive feedback, to all the participants. Hats off to you for so much of patience, listening to all the papers with so much of patience and excitement, and giving the productive and lucid feedback to the participants. I'm sure all the participants must have been immensely benefited with your feedback. Thank you so much, Professor Manvinder Singh Pava, sir. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude for our keynote speakers, Professor Dek Suranga Silva, Professor, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, and Professor Mamta Jain, Professor and Chairperson, Board of Studies, Department of EFM, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, for their mesmerizing and insightful presentations. Both the keynote speakers have left a mark on the minds of audiences with their knowledge and effective presentations. I wish to appreciate and specially thank the whole team of Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, for this worthy collaboration. Right from the patron, Dr. Rana Singh sir, to the whole organizing team. I wish to appreciate the conference organizing directors, Professor S.S. Modi, President, Inspira Research Association, and Professor Rajiv Ranjan for this collaboration. I would like to salute the whole organizing team of the conference from both the organizations, Joint Secretary, Joint Organizing Directors, Professor Anil Mehta and Professor Rajiv Verma, for showing great interest in the whole proceedings. Conference organizing secretaries, our very own young and dynamic Captain Dr. Ravikant Modi, General Secretary, Inspira Research Association, and Mr. Kumod Kumar, Coordinator, Center for CSR, Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, for holding the command during the preparations. I would like to mention Professor Sriranga Vishnu and the whole team of Inspira Research Association and Chandragupt Institute of Management, Patna, including Professor Debrat Samanta, Professor Shivnanda Senapati, Professor Kalyan Prasad Agrawal, Professor Mamta Singh, and Professor Sudeep Rohit for their persistent and constant efforts to make the conference fruitful. And now, the most importantly, I would like to thank all the participants. As Professor Pava said, that we have participants from the all over the nation. I mean, there is no state which is left aside. So I wish to thank all the participants from all over the nation who have shown great interest in presenting their papers on varied subjects. Looking forward for one more day which is filled with knowledge and thrilling deliberations. See you tomorrow with Dr. Chai Chingtan, Professor Anil Mehta, and Keleda Lulak, and Dr. M.L. Vasita on board with us tomorrow. Thank you so much once again. Over to Dr. Ravikant Modi, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Aarti ma'am. Thank you so much, all of you, once again. On behalf of Chandragupt Institute and Inspira Research Association, I would like to again thanks to all the chairperson, additional chairperson, keynote speakers, and all the learned participants, keynote speakers. Thanks to Professor Chai Chingtan sir, our tomorrow's chairperson, Professor Manvinder Singh Pava sir, Professor Mamta Jain ma'am, Dr. M.L. Vasita has also joined. So thanks to Vasita sir also. And thanks to all the participants once again. So we will meet tomorrow at the same time, that is 4:30, for the second day's session on research and innovations in education, humanities, and social sciences. And for regarding tomorrow's presenters list, we will send to the mail IDs and WhatsApp groups. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir.